Well, hello.
Hi, everybody. Uh-oh, I think I'm
Music is
still
very
in
loud.
cosplay.
No, you're not.
My bad.
You look good on my thing.
Oh, not according to reactive.
Yep. Works for everyone.
Okay. You
Well,
know what? If it
hello.
works, it works. I shan't worry.
I think, guys, welcome. Well, I mean, not I think welcome.
Hello,
Welcome.
birthday cake.
Hello.
Congratulations
yeah,
on
birthday
1 year of
cake.
college down. That is awesome.
Very nice.
I see 6 people are watching. Where ya other 6 hiding?
If your lurkers don't, this is not a call out post. But
Nah, if anything, it's more appreciative than anything else.
I was gonna say words, and Mars made me lose them. I've lost
so
all my
sorry.
words.
Forgive me.
I'm trying to be a good content creator,
sorry.
and I can't tell. I mean, there we are. Just got here, Penguin. Well, there you go. How dare you not immediately, within moments of showing up, have like some sort of bot to immediately say hello. I can't believe this, Penguin. Fake
For
fan.
shame, Penguin. For shame.
But no. I'm trying to be a good content creator.
Not at all.
And I actually, knock on wood, think it's working. I was very concerned. Because if you guys don't watch the shorts, hello, John. I'm doing pretty good.
Hiya, John.
All things considered. Oh, I have a lot of stuff to talk about today, so I'm gonna yap for a while before we get into it.
Oh my gosh,
and then I'll let Mars yap.
So much going on. I feel like we gotta do a whole roundup.
Yeah, I feel like the gap between Friday and Tuesday stream is just so far that there's always stuff. You're right, also, Penguin. I take it back.
You are without Doggo now, so that's even better.
Thank God I'm without Doggo. Doggo has made it back home. Doggo is much happier at home. Doggo went home and shat everywhere. Not actually everywhere. I kept the diaper on her because I didn't want my grandmother to have to deal with it. Basically, my parents went away for 10 days, and my childhood home has stairs, and my grandmother moved in, and all of the bedrooms are on the second floor. Like, that's just how it is. There's literally no room to put a bedroom on the first floor. Like, it's not like they have like a study or anything. Like, there's nothing. You have the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen on the first floor. Like, there's no place to have a bedroom on the first floor. So all the bedrooms are on the second floor. So the fear is like, you can't leave her home with the dog because all of our doors have stairs as well. And the dog can't do the stairs either because the dog's an ancient old lady as well. And so we didn't want 2 old ladies looking after each other. It's just a bad with stairs. Just a bad mix. She's not a big dog, but she's definitely not a light dog. She is like 20 pounds. So like to lift that up and down stairs is not for an old woman. Okay, so that's why I had the dog. And then on top of that, to ensure that, God forbid, something didn't happen, my grandmother flew down to her son, my mother's youngest sibling, to stay with them because they live in the South. And so my job was on Saturday. I went to my parents' house. I dropped off the dog. I had a nice soak in the tub because I was very, very, very needing it. I was dying. And
that week was hell on you.
And then I was to get my nails done, and then I was to go pick my grandmother up from the airport and drive her back home because my parents were supposed to come home that night, right? And so I get the dog in, and she's already upset because while I walked her at 6:30 in the morning, I went back to bed until 8:30 and left her in the crate because fuck it was Saturday. I want to sleep in, okay? And
Ori knew she'd have to be up early for Pathfinder the next Sunday.
And so
sleeping in Sunday was not an option.
Then we went to my parents' house and I ate their food. She's like, I'm sorry, Ori, that there's nothing here. I'm like, there's way more food in this house than I think you realize, and I'm eating it. So I ate their food while the dog ate her food, and then she immediately pooped in the diaper because there was no way I was gonna be cleaning something up. So then I had to get the dog. So then I shoved the dog outside after she already peed outside, right? Like I put the dog outside first and she peed, but she didn't have to poop then or whatever. And so then she ate her breakfast and she pooped because she's ridiculous in the diaper. Thank God. And then so I had to clean her up.
Makes cleanup a lot easier.
But I had to clean her butt up because it's not like, it's still there. And so then she had to have a bath before I could have a bath. And then I showered and took my bath. Yeah, but she had a bath in the kitchen sink, so that's just how life goes.
She just had to get you.
Yeah, but then I took a shower and had a bath. And then I got my nails done. And then I was told my grandmother needed picking up at 2:30. And I double checked because I was like, oh my God, Mom, I just got like a calendar notification that it says like 11:45. And it's like, I was not prepared for that. She's like, no, it's 2:30. I'm like, okay, great. So I get my nails done. It's 1:30. Airport's 30 minutes away. I'm like, all right, great.
Okay.
I'm gonna make another cup of tea and like have a cookie or something and chilling.
Well, that sounds lovely.
And it's 1:50. Okay, I'm like finishing my tea, and my grandma was like, "Hi, Mason," and my grandma was like, calls me, and I'm like, "Oh, what is it?" She's like, "Yeah, I just landed." You know, my grandmother's rich. Yes, Ori, I just landed, and I'm waiting at the baggage claim, and I'm like, Natty, I haven't left yet. I was told to hurry." So she's like, "Oh, you know, we were early. There was a tailwind or whatever." And I was like, "Oh my God, okay. Like, I'm leaving now. I'll be there in 30 minutes." And that was fine. She found a bench outside. And oh my God, this is like a small airport. There's like 2 big airports near where I live with Dylan, but there's a small airport closer to my parents' house. And oh my God, it's so nice. It's empty. There's no one there.
Ooh,
there's like one other car at the pickup and drop off area. And I was just like, oh, this is heaven.
I know, birthday cake. A plane being early?
Yeah. No,
Unheard
crazy.
of.
Yeah, it is kind of cringe. It's really cringe that planes land early. How fucking dare they? But I got her, and then we had lunch, and then I drove home and everything. And then I had a lovely rest of my evening to myself without having to care for an elderly dog. And it's sad because, God, while she is so annoying in the car, I do miss having a dog in the car and her being cute, just lying in the seat there, being able to give her pets and neck scritches and whatever. But I just wish she
work,
was
doggo.
the more settled. But okay, the main other thing, so I had a great time. Main other thing is I put a lot of effort yesterday. I was really trying to be into content creation because we were stagnating a little bit on the Ace Tooney YouTube. You know, we weren't growing very much. We kept like fluctuating down, which is just, you know, a little abnormal. So I was a little sad. I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna try something new. And I've been watching this, you know, Twitch streamer, and her whole thing is like, helping become a content creator shit and like that. And so one of her things was like, she was talking really about how this one VTuber had a really good debut because they were doing all of these things. Hello, Sleep. Hello, Sleep.
I gotta say, Ori, your tactics are working. We got a new one in chat.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I'm just talking about it. We can be idols. I have a VTuber model. It's not for this channel, though. But yeah. We didn't really debut. We don't debut over here. But thank you. There is new shit coming, though. This is a good time, though.
Lie. We do.
Ooh, we are actually going to debut. Indy will have a debut.
We do debut.
Indy will have a debut. I appreciate it, Sleep. I just personally associate idols with VTuber, which is dumb because like idol culture came from like K-pop and J-pop and shit. But like, it's just, my brain is like VTuber content. But I'm glad you like the content, Sleep Pause. We're happy to have you. Happy you could make it to stream.
Yes, thank you so much for engaging.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
The punk tactics, indeed. Well, so that's what I was saying. And so I was looking at, you know, what this creator that, you know, this person was touting did, that like they were saying they did right. And then I was like looking at other PNG tubers, and I will admit there doesn't seem a lot of content. We have renamed Fingy. It is now Indie Pointer.
Yes.
It is now Indie Pointer.
Indie Pointer.
Indie just gives a lot more NB, like gender fluid vibes too.
It really does. Fingy, so not so much.
Fingy is just a thing. You know, Fingy gives like I named a stuffed animal Barry the bear, you know?
Don't worry, Penguin. I'm still reserving Finn Pointer for a later date because it's too good. It's just not right for this situation.
Maybe if there is ever a Indie 2.0, I don't think there ever will be. Cersei may one day get a 2.0. I don't know what
how there would be a 2.0 of Fingy because it's a finger. Don't get me wrong, Ori. I'm sure you would find a way.
It would only be if I like learned like way more techniques. Yeah, Indie, cause like index finger, Allie. That's why. Cause your index finger is also your pointer finger. So indie pointer, you get both.
Oh, rest assured, Penguin, Dylan will indeed make jokes about it.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that, Penguin.
I think that's why we had to change it to Fingy.
Yeah, Fingy's also weird. Yeah, in indie, I think indie's the sweet spot where indie's like a name, but it's like, oh, indie pointer, ah ha ha, like I get it, right? Like it feels good. And then spelling it a little funky just gives it that VTuber quality, I feel like. I don't know. But so if you have been watching the shorts, you saw that I was like trying something new out with the content and the short, and like putting a little lead in and a little outro, and then so it infinite loops. And I will admit,
and it's so damn good.
I was because like they tell you like the first 2 seconds are like the most important to hook people, and the people watching shorts that are like scrolling through shorts are like you know, you're gonna skip. And I was like, that's just the nature of the beast.
You want to hook.
And so
you gotta have that snatch.
Trying to hook them right there. I was talking in shorts. Yeah. I was talking. I out of the video, so that like I recorded that after. I'm glad it was fun. I was a little sad originally because the first ones that I did actually did like kind of worse than some of the ones we're doing. But then today or yesterday some point, the algorithm freaking picked them up. And now they're nothing to like, you know, we're not like going viral or anything. But they're like good numbers for us. They're like in the 1,000. Cosplays are mostly weird. Weird people, as we learned with Larry from Kim Possible, you know, weird doesn't mean bad. It can.
Exactly.
But it doesn't have to be.
We learned that yesterday.
You know, Kim Possible teaching us life lessons. Also, yeah, like Larry would be a fucking like beast today. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking about like he went to the Comic-Con in like 92.
Larry would have his
whatever.
own YouTube channel and he'd have like platinum.
Larry'd be fucking going.
Seriously.
Yeah, Larry'd be going. But yeah. So then they started taking off a little bit, so I was happy. And then also like last week's Ace Attorney video went nuts for us. 153, and it hasn't even been a week. My goodness, crazy. So I'm feeling pretty good. Banana split mermaid. Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Oh, that is quite lovely.
Edgeworth! Earrings, Edgeworth. I don't think Canadian Lucifer's here, but earrings, Edgeworth. Ooh, we stand.
Oh, wait, I gotta see this.
He's standing.
Ooh, oh, this is lovely.
Oh. I mean, now, so then don't be his friend anymore. I feel like that's the answer. I know that can be kind of difficult, but like, you know, if you regret becoming friends with him, I feel like
that to the curb.
Yeah,
you don't need that in your life.
But I totally get it can be hard. Life can be hard.
Oh yes, wouldn't be life if it weren't.
What was I going to say? Hello, Federico. Oh, did I miss saying hi to Estrock?
Welcome.
I don't think I did. Did I?
Oh, Estrock joined? I'm sorry, I'm between tabs. I keep hopping back and forth.
I don't see Estrock. I only see Penguin at Birthday Cake. Don't scare me like that.
I don't see Estrock either.
Okay.
Are you tricking us?
Are you tricking me, Federico? Or is Twitch being weird? No, Penguin's talking on Twitch.
No,
So
Twitch isn't being weird.
Okay.
I'm hopping to YouTube.
Scared me, Federico.
Liking our video.
UPS died? What? I don't want to think about it.
I'm reading that as oops, it died.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure though.
I don't want to think about it. But so yes, so we are doing lots of content creation. So if you don't know, I don't have links off the top of my head. But if you don't know, Ace Tooney now has a Twitter, just because unfortunately that's still a thing. And
Blue Sky just has not gained enough traction.
Yeah, it has a Blue Sky too. It has both. I'm posting on both. But
it's still happening, so rest assured. And one day we can fully switch to Blue Sky.
It's still alive
for
as
the
a
moment,
thing.
Twitter's got the monopoly.
So Ace Toonie and Folding Planets both have a Twitter. I'll never not call it Twitter. Ace Toonie got an Instagram. So if you like it, so
yes!
you can still see
the big
chatting.
update.
Yes, Ace Toonie got an Instagram, guys. It's Ace Toonie. It looks like everything else. I'm very brand consistent. I want to say. Oh yeah, S-Druck is usually around always. Just this is late today. Slacking. No, I'm joking.
It's like we said,
that's
life
a fun
happens.
fact. Sleep. But yeah, so if you're on Instagram and you'd rather watch us there, we're posting there now too. Mostly reels, but I do the collaboration thing with my art account, so you can see the Ace Toonie related art over there as well. I think that's all our updates. I'll finally bring up the comic. Make sure I'm not doing this stupid.
Let's do it. So those are the updates happening social media wise, which is so exciting. Oh my god. I am amazed.
I have to say something about that, Sleep. So I own a Subaru. Okay, that is the car. That is the first car I have ever owned. That is my car that I bought with my money. Okay, before that I used my parents' car very graciously of them. That was basically my car, but this is now my car, my Subaru. And before that, I drove a company car. That was a Subaru. And there's S-Druck. You summoned him, Federico. You summoned him. Welcome, S-Druck.
Not you, S-Druck. Don't you go away.
Yes, it is called that, Mason. That is why we named that.
Yes, it is. Actually, Ori was very into origami back in middle school. We made a lot of origami. That's why one of the songs we wrote together back then was called Origami Puppy Dog.
Yes. Penguin, and that's what I'm getting at.
Origamis somewhere.
That's what I'm getting at. But, so I have a Subaru. So my mother saw on Instagram Reels a woman who got these little, like, she calls them badges. They're like stick-on badge things that you put on your Subaru, and it says, like, my first Subaru, like, as a little thing. They're really cute. And they have little add-ons you can add of little, like, icons of stuff. Hers had, like, a camping one and, like, a heart road trips and then, like a paw print and stuff.
Oh, that's so fun.
And they're really cute. And it turns out you can get them for free by owning a Subaru. Like, you just order them. You don't even pay shipping and handling. And so my mother sent this to me as like, Ori, you would love this shit. And fuck yeah, I would love this shit. That's the shit I want, right? So I went on and I did mine, and that was great. And so I have, like, I'm getting them. It's going to be my first Subaru. And then it has, like, one is a tree, one is a leaf, one is like 2 flowers with a trowel and a paw print and an I Heart Parks because of it. Like, I mean, what am I? Also, apparently Subaru
have that as an arborist.
is just really big with arborists. My boss has a Subaru as well. The car I drove at my previous job, which was an arborist job, they gave us Subarus and this sort of thing. So it's great. I'm very excited. And they have, like, the loyalty badges. So, like, your second Subaru, you can have, like, my second Subaru, and it goes up to, like, 10, and then it says 10 plus. My 10 plus Subaru. I hope I don't have to get there in my lifetime. Maybe, I do hope for every Subaru to last at least 10 years. So, fingers crossed we're not getting that high up. But
hopefully.
I'm very excited. And my brain died. I was looking at the comments of that post my mother sent me, because that's where I had to find out the person finally telling us how to get the Subarus. Well, yeah, S-Druck, they have a Pride one too. You could get, but you can only get like 5 badges things. And so the trees ones were more important to me personally. But people were so butthurt about the fucking Subaru badges. And it was just like, what the hell? Like, why are you so butthurt about these badges?
Wait, like, butthurt that they couldn't get them, or butthurt
like,
because
oh yeah,
of what
all Subaru people are like dumb and weird. And like, I have heard the like lesbian thing before, right? Which is just like, you can say that derogatorily or you can say that funnily, and I know what we're in right now, so it doesn't matter. I don't fucking know. I don't know what car stickers did to them.
What?
People get really
God, get a
butthurt
life.
over car stickers, though. Like, I'll say, even like
I wish my life were so boring to be butthurt
I
over
think
car stickers.
that the like I
forbid
like
they ever
the
encounter an
peaker
actual
stickers.
problem.
The peaker car stickers are adorable. I think car stickers can be great. I think it only gets kind of weird when you've wrapped your car with a character, and your goal is not to. That's not the theme, right? Does that make sense? If you've wrapped your car as like the mystery machine, it's like, okay, like I'm being a cool, like I'm like doing a thing, right? If you've wrapped your car as Batman, it's like I'm doing a thing. But if you've wrapped your car as Ren from No Zero or whatever it is, right? I don't know. The blue-haired maid girl that, you know, is unfortunate.
Rem.
Thank you, Rem. If you wrap your car as Rem, like you're not doing a thing.
You were giving me a friggin' stroke when you said that.
I'm sorry.
Like, who the heck is she
I
referring
never
to?
saw it.
Who knows who the Blue
never
Exorcist
saw it.
main character is? It
Never.
can't be that she's stumbling on.
See, the Hatsune Miku thing depends. In my opinion, it depends because Hatsune Miku is such a brand. You know, I'm more like that. Like if your car was all SpongeBob,
So
it's like
committed
that's a
to Hatsune
thing.
Miku.
But like Rem or like, you know, Lucy Heartfeet, like there's like definitely like this is a weird waifu thing at a certain point, right? When your car seats are like that character. Is like it's kind of there's a difference between I think the difference is between your car being say Hatsune Miku themed and your car being a Hatsune Miku shrine, right? I think there's a difference.
So it's the difference between being a fan of Reigen Arataka and having an entire shrine for Laios.
Well, see, there's a difference here. I can make my car in theory, dungeon meshy themed. And I don't think that that's like a you're weird, right? But if I was to like just wrap Laios all over the car, like that's weird, you know? Like there's a difference.
I guess because it's all like specifically centered around that
there's
one
like a
character.
I enjoy a show or I enjoy an aesthetic, and then there's I am obsessed with this character to a point where I've spent a lot of money. like wrapping a car is like a lot of money. Yes, I have, Estruck. I'm trying to think. There was I've seen a speed racer car. Like that shit's cool, right? Like in real life, I have seen a speed racer car. Like I think I have pictures of it. That's cool shit. You know, like I see people replace.
Based as hell. I remember when we went to that con last year, we saw
fan
a
versus obsession,
Ghostbusters car.
Yeah, we saw a
and that was
Ghostbusters
clearly,
car.
like, an homage.
Yeah, but it wasn't like one of the Ghostbusters all over it. You know, like that's a difference.
It's also one of those like unfortunate connotations where it's like because of the way anime fan culture is, like especially with like the waifu subculture, it's like if you have this one person on your car, it's just assumed you are obsessed.
I guess I would also say it would be weirder if the car was SpongeBob themed than if the car was like the Krabby Patty Mobile, you know?
I would raise an eyebrow at that.
Yeah.
Like think of it this way. If you saw Danny Phantom on a car and it was just Danny Phantom, like no Sam, no Tucker, no nothing.
Okay, I mean,
would it garner the
yes,
same reaction?
Yes. I can paint the Aigyo car. I can't just paint the Cybertruck and be okay.
I mean, you could tear apart the Cybertruck and turn it into something new because it's so shoddily
But then that's
built.
a problem.
Ew.
Speed Racer cake, nice.
Oh, that's cool, Mason.
Nice. Because it doesn't laugh at the edges, but see, now that's funny. You know, or like Herbie, right? Herbie. That was the
I have seen
bug.
someone do their
I've
car
seen
as
Herbie, you know, Volkswagen
I've seen
Bugs.
That one. That was wild.
But there's definitely a difference from like.
What do you mean no shrine? I'm not going to stop building my shrine to that.
Should I say what we talked about today? Mark?
Oh my god. You seriously gonna do that?
I'm gonna mention it. I ain't gonna show anyway. I will mention it.
The ace discovers tentacles.
No, okay, wow. Mars has led this in horrifically. Now I need to fucking explain. Jesus Christ, Mars. Holy fuck? But okay, so basically, I got Good Smile had like a figure sale because of the tariffs that are coming, and they're like, these are tariff-free sale now, like before it happens, get them now. And they just came in and they're great. I got Gyu from Demon Slayer, and I got Lloyd from Spy X Family. Great, love them, they're great.
They're beautiful.
Dylan at the same time was looking at his like 3D printing like model websites, and he like saw like a Laios, you know, to like 3D print in his resin printer, and he was like gonna do it for me. And so we were looking at like other Laios
Dylan is
figures.
best fiance ever.
Yeah, and we were looking at other Laios figures on this site in order to like print, and they were really cute. There's like a Funko, and there's like a Funko style one, which is really good actually. Like he has like a base and everything.
Okay.
It's really cute, and there's a bunch of good ones.
That's adorable.
And I told Dylan, I was like, yeah, the only model, because we were like looking, you know, you're kind of scrutinizing them, and I was like, Dylan, the only official Laios model that I don't plan on buying is this older one that is old, you know, from before the anime even existed, and he just looks kind of derpy, and because it's so old, it's not in production anymore, so they're like really expensive collectory, and it's like, I am not spending that level of money on like a mid figure. If it was like 20 bucks, like I might, but when it's like 50 bucks, it's like, you're not good enough. But like, I'm sorry,
no.
I love you, Laios, but like, okay. I was trying to find a picture of this figure to show Dylan what it looked like just to show kind of the derpiness. And I had remembered I couldn't like find it on a quick search on Google. You know, there's so much fan content now, which isn't a bad thing, I ain't against it. But there is actual like official figures now, so it's harder to find than when there was only like 2 official Laios figures. So I was like, oh, I remember I had found it on eBay, you know, because it's like I said, you know, not in production anymore. And so I went on eBay, and and I checked, Mars, I lied to you. I didn't even search Laios figure. I just searched Laios.
To me.
I just searched the word Laios.
The audacity, you guys.
Okay.
Pastry Pop, hello. You are just in time for the wildest
reveal of this
you're gonna
setup.
hear.
Okay, so I just searched Laios in eBay, and now, you know, the ones come up that you think for a little bit way too fast. I'm gonna say like 4 listings in, the 5th listing, this is not an exaggeration, is an NSFW figure that is over $500. Loves tentacles. It's censored because it's eBay. But like, I was not prepared. I'm like laughing. Dylan's like, what? I'm like, are you ready for this? He's like, yeah.
Horrified.
And I show him, and he's like, I was not ready for this. Turns out, because I kept scrolling to try and find the figure I was looking for, the derpy one where he's just sitting on his like camp roll. No, they do. Penguin, there is a total of 5 varying NSFW figures of Laios that vary from $500 to like $1,000 on eBay. Insane. I will say, the one I just mentioned is the wildest one. They go much further down in like Wilden, but they are all very clearly, I might be yelling.
No, not even Laios is safe.
Yeah, not even Laios is safe, but yeah, the people, not the Pokemon plushies. We're not talking. I'm sorry. If I'm cutting out now, then it's a problem. But if I'm not cutting out now, audio is for stream is lagging. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Why does this happen to us?
Not that again.
Everything looks good to me. Stream's cutting. Everything on YouTube. Oh,
Testing.
Uh-oh.
Everything on YouTube.
Okay, let me try.
Let's see.
Live. You gonna load for me, or are you gonna be stupid?
Looks all right to me.
Audio-wise, Twitch seems fine.
Twitch does seem fine. Okay.
Huh.
Oh, so weird. I hate when it does that.
I don't know why it does this. Don't do this. Stop. I don't know. Is he back yet? Hello, Mason. Welcome over here. Can't hit. Yeah, maybe just refresh your YouTubes, guys. I don't think it's me. It doesn't look like it's me.
It's not affecting my end.
On YouTube, it's not affecting you?
No, not
then I don't
on
think
YouTube.
it's
It
me.
doesn't seem to be.
I think it's just some of you. Still doing bad? Oh no. Did you refresh,
Okay,
Pastry?
like, the avatars are moving. Hang on.
The background music too? Allie restarted YouTube and it worked. Alright, see, Pastry, I think it's not me. Fingers crossed it's not me.
Okay.
I mean, like, it's not our stream. It's like a YouTube
Sometimes
thing.
that's all it takes.
Yeah, sometimes it's you guys.
Just a little refresh.
But, yeah. So, welcome back, Sleep. But yeah, so, that was a ride. And I told Mars this, and Mars literally was like, you gotta show me the pictures, but spoil them. I'm at school.
Well, spoiler them because I was working at the time,
Yes.
and I'm like, we
Yay,
ain't risking
Pastry.
it for a biscuit. No, 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 no. That would not fly.
But yeah, they're wild. You know.
Or you can't just tell me these things and then not send a picture as proof.
Search at your own risk. They are very easy to find. That's all. Like, they're right there. Okay,
They're not
not hidden.
They're not hidden
They're
at
not
all.
hidden at all. They're all censored on eBay.
But to answer Allie's question, I think it was Allie's, of Mars, do you have a shrine? I don't know if I would call it a shrine, but I would say if I buy like more than one figure of a character I like. We didn't hear the end of the story.
Where did we cut out, Allie? I need to know,
Oh,
so I don't finish. I don't go for the wrong spot.
I'll hold off on my little spiel then. Or he's got to finish. We're working again? Okay.
We are working again, but I need to. Is the end of the story? Yes, go ahead, Sleep.
Basically, Allie, TLDR is I have multiple figures of Freerun, who I really like, and I have multiple figures of Vash. I would consider, like, if I buy a figure of a character I really like, and it's more than one, because normally I just buy one figure and it's like, I'm satisfied, I'm happy. I only need one Yuji Todori in my life. I only need one Tanjiro in my life. But Vash, I needed multiple.
So, Allie,
Freerun, I needed multiple. And if they ever come out with a link click pop, I will need multiple.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, yes. But Allie, so yeah, so the fifth thing down on the eBay of just searching Laios, no other words, literally just searching Laios, is the NSFW figure, and that first one is Tentacle NSFW. And then there's a total of 5 different NSFW Laios figures of varying degrees. Some of them are just like there's a level there. Yeah, multiple. Like, I can't even believe Freerun is a great choice. I can't even believe it. They're also a very like only
welcome.
One of them is like the body shape I feel like the vast majority of the community agree he has. That's like much more like functional strength, where the other ones are like, this is anime, man, and it is, I don't even know. They're all censored, thank God. But who?
Unsettling.
Yeah. Oh man, you looked it up.
Guys, I said to Ori, as soon as she sent me those pictures, I said, this is doujinshi level Laios. Like, this is specifically someone made this for very specific reasons.
Yeah, it is a wild and use the capitalized parts are very.
Allie, I did need multiple.
You mean like
I did
AT
need multiple.
Sleep, or you mean just like Ace Tooney of our YouTube handle things? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, it's just a game. I don't really care. No, it really was Penguin.
Yes,
Yep.
Penguin.
Yes,
Indeed.
Mason. It's a lot. It's a lot that I didn't need. I did not going in looking for. I did not want to see.
Did I
honestly.
lie? The ace discovered tentacles.
I hate that. I hate when you say it that way. I just have such a visceral reaction. You make it sound like I've discovered the genre and not like an instance of surprise.
No, what Ori discovered was her most beloved cinnamon roll of all time. Just being
no, I get it. You're on
that.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Sleep. Ori lore is fun. Yes. No, that's fine. Now I understand. Sounds good.
Oh, smashing Ori and lore together? Sure.
But there's like I don't know. I don't know. No, don't make this the headline.
Oh God, no.
I've been in anime long enough.
No.
It's definitely not the first time, but it was a very shocking surprise. Would I eat octopus? Probably not. I've heard that it's like chewy and weird. Dylan's tried it in takoyaki. My father has had it raw. One of my like earliest memories is my father coming back from Japan and on his old ass Windows XP computer. So it wasn't old then, it's old now. It was new then. Going into his files and showing us these videos he took on his camcorder camera. Okay, like the separate fucking thing with the tape in it. Okay. Of the live octopus tentacles squirming around. All right, that's good sleep. But my understanding is mostly just chewy.
I would try it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is drunk
once, and then if I like it, great. If I don't, I don't. Ooh, I got some sushi today on the way home from work today, and it was so good.
I don't really like seafood at all. Like, there's no seafood that I'm really like going for. So I feel like on top of that, the texture of octopus, even cooked octopus, is just gonna be like really off-putting for me. That it doesn't even sound.
Cooked octopus is like very different. Like that's like hard level difficulty of eating seafood.
Yeah, but like I don't think I could do either. Shrimp. I would have to do. But that's what I'm saying. I don't like shrimp. I don't like lobster. I don't like fish. Like I just can't do it. I don't like them. So I think like I'll try a food even if it's weird if it does like seem appetizing. But I will say I'm just not. The octopus does not seem appetizing to me. Because I also know that there is like cheese like versions of the takoyaki where it like doesn't have octopus in it at all, and so it's like I would eat that. Like, can I just have that? That's the part that looks good, you know. The octopus is not the part that looks yummy to me. Oh yeah, they do fight back, Penguin. Even the tentacles do.
It's freaky. It's honestly really freaky.
I don't watch mukbang. I can't deal with like those mouth sounds are not right. I will watch a dog eat a watermelon though, or a cat eat a piece of meat. When it's an animal, it's like, oh, this is cute.
What's the one I saw? It was the cat who eats like the raw egg yolk and stuff like that, and she's always doing it through like a clear table or a clear wrap or something.
Yeah. Sometimes is it sometimes two cats and it's like fight, like the race to see who can lick it up faster?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, filet mignon and stuff, like Wagyu beef sometimes and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yes. I'm so excited for this mermaid, Allie.
Can't wait.
The banana split mermaid is gonna be adorable. But my brain died.
They do keep the mouth noises of.
Oh yeah, no. That's the whole Astruck. That's the whole point. The whole point of mukbang is for the mouth noises. Like that's the main thing.
I know you didn't mean to say it, but mouth noises is very accurate.
And
human, it's moist and there's noise.
There is one noise
don't like it very
in
much.
mukbang that I think is good, and that's when they have those like candied like fruits where they get the really hard shell candy on it. That crunch is good. I can't deny.
Oh, initial crunch
that
is
first
fine.
crunch is good. I
just
don't need any of the other noises.
Do not need to hear
need any of the other
saliva and
noises.
slurping.
I
I just don't need that in my life.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
such a ride, Estruck. I don't even know.
Oh, I must have missed the drama on that one.
Do you know who Niku Avocado is?
Dope.
There's a guy. It's a long story. What? There's a 7-hour Einabber video on it.
Oh man.
Oh, glad it's doing good.
Maybe I'll just watch that.
Yeah, the noises. Can't do it. Can't do it. Nuh-uh.
The noises are too much.
The noises are much too much. Okay, let me take.
I can't.
This. No, this. Where are they? I don't even know. What is this one?
ASMR is interesting. Sometimes it creates the intended result, and then other times I'm just like, yeah, nope, I can't listen to this.
It really depends on like the ASM artist, right? The person doing it really can make or break the same like medium, I guess, right? For lack of a better term, the same medium can really be made or broke by who is doing it. If I'm being honest, all of the ones that are like your ear cleaning or like like all the body ones, disgusting, horrible, can't.
Yeah.
I wish to curl up into a ball and cease to exist. Terrible. But wood soup is pleasant. Some slimes I do enjoy. And there's like a certain type of plastic that I like crinkled. It's not all plastic. If it's too high pitched, it's bad. But when it's like that lower pitch plastic, great. No, can't do that. It's dry. Oh, can't do that. Can't do the pimple popping or the anything where it's supposed to be done to me. Get away from me. Go away. Please don't be here. I don't the whispering ones either.
My dad is into like he watches something called Dr. Pimple Popper, and he's like,
yes.
You wouldn't believe the stuff that comes out of this. I'm like, I don't want to.
No.
I don't want to see it, and I don't want to believe it. I will believe it without seeing it.
Like,
that's
okay,
fine.
I can totally understand the joy of like squeezing something out of something, right? Like if you have a balloon full of
there's
like
a reason why
liquid...
those squishy balls exist.
Yeah, like I can
reason,
totally get that.
I remember there was a toy when we were growing up. Do you remember that one that had like the silly string hair? You pulled it out, and like that was literally the toy.
But that
I can understand why people like that, like as a way to keep their hands busy.
as the movement, I get it. But why are all the things specifically like pimpled, like aesthetic, right? Does that make sense? Why does the thing have to look so gross? I don't want it to be real. I will say there is somebody out there.
The pimple aesthetic.
There's someone out there who
bad.
makes something called picky pads, and they're not like, they don't look like flesh at all. They're like a clear silicone, and they put like a bunch of like beads and stuff in them. And the idea is you can like pick the things out, and it's for people who like to do that. It's
funny enough,
you know.
Some of the OTs
I'll
my
stop,
practice use those. I didn't know you were eating, Allie. I'm so sorry. We'll talk about pleasant things.
Yeah.
It is medically important, Estrog. I just don't need to see it. If that's what my dad chooses to watch during his dinner, more power to him.
I'm not trying to shame anybody here. That is not my intention. You can totally like what you like. My point is that, like, I can understand the act of the, like, extracting something out of something. My question is, why do they all have to be pimple themed? You know, that's it. That's just why, like, bubble wrap, right?
It's like,
why can't it be
expand your
bubble wrap
horizon.
themed?
There's so many things out there to pop.
But, you know, it's just, ugh. I don't want anything done to me. That's the other thing. And it's just, if it's gross, I can't do it either. It's like, does anybody remember that, like, horror game where it was VR? I'm pretty sure Markiplier played it, and that's how I know it. And you're, like, VR, and you're supposed to put your hands...
You know how little that narrows that
on
down?
the table. I'm getting to it. And you're supposed to put your hands, like, on the table, and then in the VR, like, they have virtual hands on the table, and then they have, like, a bunch of stuff, like, happen to you in the room, and the goal is to, like, not move and not, like, remove your hands or whatever. And they'll have, like, spiders and shit, and they'll, like, have all this creepy shit happening in the room. Yeah. That's, like, the same thing to me as, like, the body ASMR. So I'm like, we can't do that. No, I can't. That gives me the same ick, personally. Oh, cheeseburgers. We had bacon, rice, and peppers today. It was called Kung Pao Bacon. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Oh, yes. The bubble wrap, always great. Always top tier stuff. Okay, let's actually come in here.
Go along with bubble wrap. It's just a classic.
I don't want to do this one. This one ekes me out. Let's try and line some stuff, all right? Can I do it?
Yes, let's
I'm very
do it. Let's
scared.
do some comic stuff tonight.
I'm very concerned. What is this? What is this one?
I mean, Ori, after you did axis lunging and rushing at the camera,
it's just
complete
different.
and utter faith in you.
It's just different. I don't know.
It is different, but you don't have to be scared. We're right here with you.
I'm scared. That's the problem. No, it would be bad other way.
Don't be scared.
I'm scared. I'm scared, Mom. I'm really scared. All right. I'm nervous.
Mom, come pick me up. I'm
scared.
I have a sip of my
no,
tea.
not the large bubble wrap.
See, I was always scared to push. There, it's not the word I want.
Oh, that is very, very.
Pop. There we go.
Ah.
Pop the large bubble
What
wrap.
has happened? Why is this being so weird?
Ooh,
Be straight. Okay, there you go. That was
there's
very
a
odd.
demo. I will download that.
Duplicate. Lovely. You don't have the endurance?
Guys, be
Stop
proud of me. I
making
might
every
actually use my
character
Steam
smash.
account to play some games.
Guys, the way... Allie, you weren't here from the beginning. But the reason that a lot of stuff that occurs on this channel occurs is because I am accidentally making characters hot. Literally, much earlier in our stream time, we had a stream. We had a lot more like TTRPG people, because that was like our original user base a lot, fan base, chat base. And
Our people.
yeah. And we used to do a stream that was called Making Monsters Hot.
Because we realized and recognized Ori's power.
The mind is
And
willing, but the body is
we decided to
spongy.
exploit it. Also amazing. Very cool Momo collection. Very, very
You
cool.
can't get up Lauren Powell. Yeah, all of them. But that's why that literally the reason that exists is because okay, the timeline is we were doing Dungeons and Dragons streams as well. So it was called Drawing and Dragons. That's what we did our Thursdays for a while. And it was mostly like I would do commissions or to be drawing stuff for the Origami Curio thing and all that sort of stuff. And then, you know, to try and get more engagement in stream, we did like more game streams, right? And it was like turning items into monsters, turning monsters into items. And then I had drawn a character from one of our tables campaigns, the first campaign Mars was ever a part of. And it was the second time I had drawn him, years apart from the earlier times I had drawn him. And just my personal skill level increase on art and just sort of like the pose that he was in ended up, woo! Look, it was a good name, Sleep. It was a good name.
Please. Glad it worked out well, Sleep.
He just turned out to be very hot, and it literally, I like drew him, whatever, and then I like looked back and I was like, at the finished product, I was like, oops. Wow, okay. Accidentally made this guy, and I like showed Dylan the like first version, and after he was like, what the hell? Or yeah, you just like tripped and fell and made him hot. And I was like, this was not like an intent, like I did not sit here making intentional decisions, right? Like to make him hot. I just drew him in a way that I liked. It just
sort of happened.
And I was like, okay, that's wild. So then that sort of, I was like talking about that on stream one time, and it kind of spurred the idea in my head. It was like, all right, let's try making D&D monsters hot. Like, let's try. I had gained up enough confidence on like stream to like draw on stream, because that's a big skill, guys, to talk a draw. Like, I mean, I know I'm not doing it right now, but like when I do it like that, I was not good at it at the beginning at all. And so we went from there, and that sort of happened. We did, I think I did a making items hot. Now we're gonna reminisce, because I don't think many of you were here.
Know if you tried making items.
I don't think many of you were here during the
I remember making
Drawing and
Dragons hot.
The Drawing and Dragons time. It's called Original Games. Where is it? There we go.
Yes, this
no,
was
Allie,
way back in our history.
Allie, no. That is 100% the vibe. Okay.
Allie, that was the vibe both Ori and I have.
So we had making monsters. So we had items from memory, items to monsters, making items Jinka, making monsters cute, making monsters Jinka, monster telephone. That was the one where you were saying the words. Monsters from memories,
right, monster telephone.
Monsters to items. Of course, we had PC emoji code break. That was where that started. And of course,
that was a
making
fun one.
monsters
really
hot.
Like that.
There are 4 iterations of making monsters hot. Yeah, no, you are OG Mason. You are.
Yes.
Yeah, 100% Penguin. That's the vibe, though.
Okay, what the vibe of being
I was like
Ace.
watching part of our like Smash to Pass stream, and it was the Lang one. So I was watching, I think somebody commented on it or something, I don't remember, but I ended up like watching a little tidbit of it, and it was with Lang. And of course with Lang I'm immediately like Smash, because like look at him. He's great. He's a lovely man, and he's very, very pretty. And Dylan said something along the lines of like, I'm trying to remember exact wording. There's something along the lines of like, imagine he's in you and he pulls out the scroll, and I'm like, I am disgusted. Like the first words you have said, like, this is ruined. Like, we're ruined now. We're looking at him. He is a very pretty man. He looks really good. He is a very nice man.
Drawn real nice.
I don't want to picture anything else. I don't want him to
good.
touch me. We're done. Like, can we not do the scenario?
However, if it were in fan fiction and he was with someone else, then I'd be like, go for it. I was actually thinking this earlier today when I was reading some fan fiction. I was like, I need to pass the time. I'm bored. I'm waiting for my next session to start. So I start reading. And it was an explicit fan fiction between the two characters. But like, they were both so enthusiastic about it. And I'm like, okay, yes, that is good, because we want the characters to be really into it. Consent is hot. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. Consent is fucking hot.
These are the making monsters hot. This is the one that won
wild.
the vote. These are so old though, man. Jesus. 2023. Crazy. You did say that last time.
I feel like Beholder and Pancake were like the pinnacle.
No, Beholder people really liked. I love this Tarrasque, but I think my favorite was the Skelelich that does come back. So we have this guy, Lightning Golem. This was Dichotomy Games' fault. He gave me that shit.
True.
Oh, these are wild. Not bad. Hag's not bad. Ooh, this one came out pretty good. I think I also kind of at what I like gave up trying to not make him Jinka at all, and I was just like, I'm doing me. It's my stream. The Korgans aren't already hot. Oh, we had this character. Oh, these are the poses.
Oh shit, we did. Yes, Brie Vondu. I remember her.
This guy I actually drew in my Laios fan art.
Which was so damn good. That's just a good ass pose.
Despero, it does, yeah. It does remind of Despero. And then we did one more round. The little foot must pierce to a parasite. Oh god.
Watch out, Allie. Your art is about to be eaten by penguin.
Want to... A mice RPG. Small Talk is good. I also like Humblewood. Yeah, so this is like we did any monsters. So this is, we had Digimon, we had frickin' Legend of Zelda. We had a Kelpie. Original movies. I forgot that. This thing and a parrot.
Oh yeah, that was
those
horrifying.
are the last ones. To do.
Oh, that one's good.
I should design for D&D Magic the Gathering. Well, Federico, how this all sort of started, and the reason that we do have a stream at all, basically, that like had people watching originally, was because my sort of, what I would consider my content creator start came from making 5e homebrew on Instagram. And you can still see all of the stuff. Like I post there every once in a while. That's how I know Dichotomy Games. He was actually, this is really wild to me, he was inspired by my account to do his own account. So,
ooh, so
that's really
like,
cool.
That's like reciprocal. That's cyclical.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
Exactly. This is the account. I was doing it very, very regularly. Most of the posts now are either commissions I have done or am doing, because I still do get commissions for items through it, or Dichotomy Games related collabs. That's the word I want. Collabs. Ooh. My mom just sent me very yummy looking cookies.
Ooh.
But
that is lovely.
Yeah, so if you want to check it out, you can check it out there. There's a lot of stuff there.
There you go.
Mousely memes aren't inexplicable. Ah, there you go, Mason. See? Double OG.
There you go.
You're fighting your cat for food. Eat it faster, Allie! You're too slow!
Allie, I gotta tell you, that's a losing battle.
You gotta snorf it! There's no other way!
Nope. It's a losing battle you now must share with your cat.
One bite!
No choice. No choice.
Okay.
Actually, no. Here's what you do. You take a piece
this one again
of whatever food you're eating. You throw it to the other side of the room. So they chase after it, right? And then in the time it takes them to run after it, eat it, and come back, you'll have finished your food. That's the pro strat. I feel like you're ready for it, being a cat owner. I have faith in you. You can do it. Use the cat cheat. Use the cat exploit.
Pause. Tears.
He has
also
one.
Cookies, yeah. Cookies.
Okay, all right, Allie, now that you've got him drawn in, throw it. You gotta check it. Make sure it goes to the far other side of the room. I'm curious, what food is he fighting you for? It really is a losing battle when it comes to our kitties.
And that's why I have dogs. I can shove them on the
they're
floor.
any better.
I can keep them on the floor. They can't climb up over my shoulder and put it on the ground.
I'm
can't
sorry,
get up there.
Ori, but the multiple tea sessions we've had at your house with Riley beg to differ.
We put her on the floor, Mars. She ends up on the floor. If she doesn't behave, she goes up on the floor.
Very eager to get in my lap and just flop all over, looking at me with them puppy dog eyes.
That she realized
looking at me
she
with them big old eyes.
Weakness of you giving into your cat.
She picked me as a target.
Yeah, she smells weakness.
And I see you trained her to smell weakness because you're too strong.
Enchiladas. Ooh.
Ooh, okay. I see why he wants some. My dad made some Spanish rice yesterday.
This is the other thing.
It was really good.
I went to a gas station yesterday, and before going home, and
you better not say you bought gas station food.
No. Across from the gas station, I see this place, and the colors of it, the name of it, intrigued me. I was like, "What is that?" Like, and I look, and it has like a walk-up window with a menu, and I was like, "Oh, that's a food place." I gotta know. Federico, my very first dog, was a dachshund. Her name was Cassie. She lived to 12, and then we had to put her down on my birthday party.
Cutie.
It's funny when you think about it later. It was very sad. I was very sad. But we had like my 4 friends over for my birthday party, and then my parents had to put her down. So that was the end of my birthday party, was my parents coming home and telling me that they had to put my dog down.
Oh my god.
I will say it was better. She was partially paralyzed, and you know, it was her time. It was unfortunate. I'm laughing about it now because it's like a funny, like, you know, in hindsight, it's kind of funny. But I do appreciate that more because that was like, that was my birthday party before I went away to college. So at least I was like there with her. Well, I wasn't there at the vet, you know, which I have yet to be, actually. So that'll be an interesting thing when that happens. But I wasn't at the vet with them, but I did like get to say goodbye, you know? So it's like, instead of being away at college. No, I'm not actually, it has been many years, Federico. I'm not sad. She was a great dog. I love her, but it's a funny scenario that like
literally
she did that. Yeah, literally. It is a very funny, to me, it's a very funny scenario that she did that. But we love dachshunds in my house. We have a lot of dachshund stuff because of her still. And I know that my mother would love to get another dachshund. My father is very against getting another dog, mostly because he feels like they're a burden for their life of travel, even though they have an RV now. So like, that's kind of the point, is getting the dog. And while I complain about caring for my elderly dog, one, I would hope that a new dog could learn to like my house to an extent and enjoy its playtime with me. And two, they could ideally also not have to wear a diaper all the time. And settle in the house. My goal, actually, when Dylan and I get a dog, because it's not an if, it's a when. I just can't have a dog where I live because I don't have a yard. And while I like walking dogs, it is very unfortunate to be forced to walk your dog every time they want to go outside. And that's something I don't wish to do. But I do hope to get a dog that would still be like a cat and enjoy sitting in my lap at my like desk, because I'm the one home the most and I'm the one around the most. So would hope that, and the dog will definitely have to come in the car with me, because that's a really cool thing I got to do, even with my elderly dog, that she gets to be in my car and go to work. And ideally, if we had a dog, that dog would be better in the car than my elderly dog. She's great in the car, she's fine, but she's still not 100%. She's still a little bit of a scooch.
Aww.
Oh no.
Poor baby.
Is
It's
YouTube
funny. I
having problems?
have to ask. Uh-oh. I hope not. My YouTube is still going. Was it just for a second?
Yeah. I'm gonna check YouTube, Dad, but tell your story.
I gotta ask, why the hell do pets pick to pass away around birthdays? Because
they just
that
know.
happened to me too with my kitty Simba.
Now.
And for that one, I was away for college.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I had known up till that time that, you know, she wasn't doing great. She was starting to have issues. Hers was definitely more sudden. We don't know what it was, but we think in hindsight, it might have been something with her liver. And I remember my dad coming to pick me up from college for my birthday weekend. And we're both sitting in the car, and he turns to me and he's like, I'm not quite sure how to tell you this. And I just turned to him like, you had to put Simba down, didn't you? She's no longer with us. And he's like, yeah, we're sorry. We just couldn't wait to the weekend. And I'm like, if it was her time, it was her time. Like, what can I do after the fact? But when my other cat, Scurry, passed away, that was in 2020. And, you know, due to the circumstances of that year, I was very home. Oh my God!
That's worse than just on your birthday! Oh my God, Federico!
During your birthday. Oh, and you, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, Esdrog, I'm so sorry.
That's like, the trauma has gotten multiple layers. But
yeah.
Oh my God, Federico!
That's
like, purposefully or accidentally? Because that is a very big difference, but still. Jesus.
I feel like dogs have so many foods that they're not supposed to eat.
No.
It's very easy to do.
I'm gonna correct something, Mars. It's not that dogs have many foods that they can't eat. It's that humans find poison yummy. And that is not a joke.
No, that's true.
That's
true.
Specifically.
I'm not going to dispute that.
So it's not the fact that many animals have things that they can't eat. It's the fact that humans are particularly poison resistant and enjoy the taste
and they want to share
poison.
the yummy poison with their pets.
Yep. Because the vast majority of things that are like, flavor is a plant's way of going, don't eat me! Don't eat me! And we're like, ha, delicious.
And meanwhile, we're just like, good soup.
Add some spice. Yeah, everyone hug your pets.
Yeah,
it's always sad when it happens, but
I spoil Misty so much because of Scurry's passing. Like, Scurry had a very good life, and we gave her the world, and she gave us so much in return.
Why is that
and
so
then
true,
when Misty
Allie?
came around, I was just like, all bets are off. I'm gonna buy anything this cat needs. I'm gonna give her all the treats. I'm gonna give her all the love, all the pets. She wants to interrupt me during stream. She very well can.
Yes. No, Allie, that's very true. I don't know why small pets, you know, especially like the hamster gerbil, you know, area of pet, decide to give
the video, the
traumatizing deaths. Yeah.
About all his hamster deaths.
Yeah. It's always traumatizing.
Oh my God.
I've told this story on stream before, but I think it was a while ago. So at one point in my life, I had 3 pets. We had my dachshund Cassie. She was the youngest. We had my pet cat Domino. He was there even before I was born, so he was the oldest pet. And then I had gotten a guinea pig, and her name was Valerie. And now this is important to preface, in school, they were teaching us about fairy tales and the rule of 3s. In fairy tale, there's a lot of 3s. The 3 fairy godmothers, you know, all of this sort of stuff, right? And Domino went missing for a week, and he came back. He was very old, you know, like I said, he was older than me, and he came back right at the end of his life. So we were thankful that we got to have closure, but he did pass, and that was sad. That was my first, you know, like pet passing that I was like aware of. Technically, we had a cat before that, but I was too young. I had no processing of that, and my parents did it like way under the radar. They did the like, oh, Mahjong went to the farm or whatever sort of shit. So like I was like 3, you know, so I like remember I remember coming home to know Mahjong, but like, you know, I was 3, so I just kind of accepted it, and it's not too much later when you like realize what happened. But like that next week after the cat passed away, we did a bombing of the house for insects. And so the dog goes in the yard, and the guinea pig, as we have done before, goes in her cage in the backyard, right? So she's done that multiple times before, no issues, no problems. It's weighed down, you know, nothing can get at her. It's fine. We come home, and Valerie's dead. Just dead. There's not that she's just stone dead. And, you know, in a way where probably something like startled her, and she had like, you know, a little classic, you know, prey animal heart attack sort of thing. But I, as a child, freaked out because now this is within 1 week. 2 of my 3 pets have died. Now, Cassie is at best the age of like 2 here. So, and with no health problems or anything. So, like, she was pretty in the clear, but I'm like 8, 9, maybe 10 at best. So I'm freaking out that Cassie's next because the rule of threes. And I'm freaking out. And my parents had to calm me down by saying, no. Cassie's brown, because I wouldn't believe them that there was no, because like we're reading about this at school. They're like, no. Cassie was a brown dog. And my cat and my guinea pig were both black and white. So that was the age of 9, right?
Age of 9
so
really
they were like,
does
no. It's only the black and white pets that had a problem. That was it. And I believed that, and I accepted that. And then Cassie again lived for like 10 plus more years.
That is so friggin' smart on your parents' part.
Yeah.
And also really friggin' lucky that it worked out that way.
I guess so, Pastry Puff. I think they just also are just like more akin to escape and get into things in the sense of like just their size in general, you know, like they're just more of escape artists. I mean, I watch a lot of people who care for fancy rats and they do like a lot of stuff and those rats still really try hard to get out, you know what I'm saying? So like,
oh yeah.
Sometimes about that thing.
It's just in them to want to run.
But the age of 9, you know? Oh, the age of 9.
Choo!
Crazy.
Choo! Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh, I did know that, Pastry Puff, about the lawn sense. Yeah, you gotta get on that one. I'm so sorry, Federico.
Oh man.
Yeah, at certain ages as struck, you don't think about it very much. But I wanted to answer Sleep. Sleep had a question. We're getting off the pet thing, but this is not meant to necessarily deter if you guys want to keep talking in chat. But Sleep has the question about any
we don't
tips.
want to let the questions go unanswered.
Any tips for young, for like new content creators? I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. Yeah, for being a content creator with only a few videos.
Ooh, do we know enough to share this information?
I'm gonna say, if you like doing it, keep at it, and you, at least for us, so we're hobbyists, right? And I always want to put that out there, that this is not us trying to be professional comic artists or professional YouTubers or professional VTubers. Like, this is not the goal. We are doing these things because we like to create. We just enjoy streaming. It is a fun hobby for us, but we're definitely not sitting out here, you know, trying to make it our job. And I think to a certain extent, we don't really want it to be our job. We would just like it to pay for itself. But we're still doing it, you know, anyway.
That's definitely the goal.
We're still doing it anyway. And I think that's the biggest thing for content creators, because even when you talk to, like, when you hear about a lot of other larger content creator journeys, a lot of them start as like the side project that they're doing for fun. But then eventually it ends up being something where they're either close to or at a point where they could actually make it their full-time job, and that's what they would rather do, you know, in order to do more content that way, and et cetera, et cetera.
Is about having fun, Federico.
It's hard to say a lot of like specific tips because the algorithm changes like day by day. I was trying to do some research on like the Instagram algorithm, and like one YouTuber has put out like 3 different Instagram algorithms videos since the beginning of this year. So like that's 4 months, you know, like we're not very far.
Crazy.
There's 3 videos on it already. So it's hard to play to the algorithm. I think that another content creator that I watch who does, you know, a fair amount of tips and tricks about it is when you're starting out, it is to an extent not content, quantity over quality. Like you can't have a bad one, like, you know, you need to have like decent audio and like decent stuff, but you don't have to be like above and beyond on that stuff. But getting your stuff out there, you know, is fairly important. And then having consistency does help certain algorithms, like because they will start pushing you as more often. And then the last thing is being on multiple social medias. It's a lot, like, God do I know, it's a lot to be on a ton of different social medias. But you never know which one has the algorithm that's gonna eat up your stuff, you know?
And it can change. Like, it can fluctuate which one takes off every now and then.
Willow, I wanted to say congratulations. Oh my god, that's so exciting. I'm sorry I can't go. We're not Canada, but I hope it goes well. That's so cool.
Wait, where did Willow say something?
In their Discord. They're exhibiting a new demo of the Star Apprentice prologue at a Canada gaming convention. At the
Am I in your Discord?
I don't know. You should be. How could you not?
I should be. Why aren't I?
I don't know. I'll. Can I invite you? Yes,
Ping
I can.
me.
I'll invite you. I'm inviting you.
Get me over there.
I've invited you.
Thank you.
But congratulations, Willow. That's so cool.
I have not been. Congratulations. That's awesome.
It's the second time. It's still really cool. It's really epic to be at a convention in any form, in my personal opinion. So
it really is. Amazing, amazing. I love the little Star Apprentice. She looks so cute.
Oh, she is adorable. Millie's great. But my brain has died.
Oh no, not the brain.
The brain died. I was saying, yeah, I would say that the biggest thing, Sleep, and anybody else who has any desire to get in content creation, you either have 2 ways. You have to do a lot of work and actually make it your full-time job, or accept it being a hobby and be pleasantly surprised should it go well. Because like we fell into Ace Attorney.
We decided to go for the pleasantly surprised route.
But so I'll tell a little of all of our things, right? None of our things, none of our facets have been to be a content creator. They sort of just worked. And so when I was...
It just worked out.
When I was doing a lot for the Origami Curio, so that was the, 5e homebrew account that I have. Again, it's still up and I still post, just not regularly. We don't play 5e anymore, so that sort of put a damper on that as well. But the reason I started that is because I was going to be the dungeon master for my a campaign with our table, and Dylan helped me design homebrew items for the characters. And I went, oh my god, I can draw these. That would be really cool to give to the players, to show to the players like an actual thing instead of just trying to describe it to them. And I had seen things like Loot Tavern and Shiny Press and, Griffin's Saddlebag, a bunch of other content creators that were doing the 5e homebrew thing, and basically their whole thing was just making like an aesthetic border thing to put your art on and then adding the stats. And I went, I can do that, right? I can do that fairly easily.
A good place to
make
start.
An aesthetic border, and just the thing I was already doing, I would put it on there and I would post. And I just enjoyed drawing the items. So it was just any time we made homebrew items for the campaigns, anything like that, I would draw them and put them out there. And it surprisingly gained like a lot of traction. Like I was getting like pretty decent, like more likes than I'd ever gotten, more followers than I'd ever gotten on that account. Like it was taking off after a certain point. Like it was growing. And I went, that's pretty cool. So we did start making like items specifically for the curio. But I will say a vast majority of them are ones that we did use in our 5e campaigns in some capacity. You know, a lot of them are still actually ones we played with at our table, because to play 5e in a very fun way, you have to really have a lot of homebrew stuff, and that's just how it is. And so it was drawing them, and the monsters never do as well. That's just how it is. There's more players for TTRPGs than there are DMs. That's just the math there. So more players are interested in your items than are interested in the monsters. But it just kept growing and growing and growing. And that's how I met Cinderblock Sally, who he was in the TTRPG space as well. I'd posted one of my things to the Unearthed Arcana subreddit. He had seen it. His stream at the time was going through Unearthed Arcana and looking at people's homebrew and like rating them on his stream. And he basically commented on my thing that says, I reviewed this on stream, go check it out. And I went, wow, I'm like going places. That's really cool. And he really liked it. And he literally in the video was like, let's be friends. And I was like, bet. So
you're like, let's go.
So I started coming to like all of his streams and watching him, and we became friends. And you know, his community has grown substantially since then, but I became kind of a pillar in his community. I was known in the chat because he was pretty small at the time, and you know, so people were recognizable. And then completely apart from this, I was reading webcomics. And Mars and I had sort of become like close friends at this point, you know, closer friends. And I was like, I really want to make a webcomic in my head.
Thank you, Servamp, for that
yeah,
one.
really. And I was like, in my head, I'm just like, wow, it'd be really cool to make a webcomic, right? Like I've been doing art for a little bit now. I was pretty confident, you know, in my things. I had gotten into making characters because I was never an OC artist until I got into Dungeons and Dragons. That was like when I made my first OCs. And eventually when you move out, you want to make a video series about making the comic. Ooh, that's very fun, very fun. Yeah.
Those are very fun. It's kind of like what Red does on her podcast.
Yeah, it is. And then I basically was like, I don't like writing though. Like I'm not good at writing. I don't enjoy writing stories. Like personally, I like coming up with ideas. And I was like, I'm pretty sure Mars likes to write. Like, I feel like that's something I remember about her, right? Like, we haven't been super close friends at this point for very long. We had sort of, like, ended up together after many years of being, like, friends, but not the main friends in any group. And then sort of, like, this is where we ended up being the best friends out of any, losing kind of most contact with the rest of the friend groups from high school.
You're my side friend.
Yeah, it was like we're in two friends groups where we do hang out, but we're not necessarily like the ones making it happen together. And then it was just like, oh no, the universe is like, no. You two were the ones like meant to be. And it was like, okay. Yeah. Well then, forget the rest of everybody else.
The platonic soulmates for the win.
Literally. Seriously though, that's the universe said these two there, they have to be besties. This is non-negotiable. And it was like, all right. So I literally out of the blue, completely out of the blue, I texted Mara. I was like, you like to write stuff, right? And she's like, yeah, I like to write fan fiction. What? I'm like, you want to make a webcomic? And she was like, sure. And then we did it. And then we kept working on it.
We just did it.
And we were talking to each other.
Like back in 2020.
Yeah.
We would meet up at each other's houses wearing masks, the whole shebang, doing little mini
having
picnics.
tea parties. Yeah.
And tea parties. This was the beginning of the tea parties before we got anime involved. And
just one of my favorite
we just
tropes,
sit at our dining room tables and hash out details of the plot.
Yeah,
like it was literally pencils and paper and laptops.
And then COVID got bad, of course. So then we did Discord, and then we were like Discording like every night. Basically, we would talk every night. And as that was sort of happening, and as I saw Cinder's thing growing, I had tried streaming a while ago before, but obviously to kind of no one. That's what happens to a lot of people. And I wasn't the person that could really at that time talk to myself by myself for that long. It was, you know, it's a skill. And so I was like, you know what though? Mars and I could talk together if we had nobody in chat to talk
For
to.
literal hours.
For hours. So it was like, hey, Mars, want to stream with me? Because we want to promote the comic before it comes out, right? That's good content
And in
creator
my head,
practice,
I went,
right?
yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why not?
And because of being a pillar of Cinderblock Sally's community, people in that chat knew me and were interested in coming to my stream. And that's so we actually weren't streaming to nobody. We were streaming to, 5 or 6 people pretty consistently. That was pretty great. That is the infamous John M47 is from that era.
Yes.
He was in Cinder's chat. We became bros over there. He came to this chat, and he was a pretty big pillar over here for a while. He is now out touching grass, and, good for him. But yeah, so thus Outcast was born. We streamed for about, I think it was like 6 months-ish before Outcast.
I was gonna say little bit over half a year.
I think it's about 6 months before Outcast releases. But in that time, there was one time where Mars was late to stream, and I was still not super great at talking to myself yet. And, we didn't have, like I said, that big of a chat where there's a lot of you talking now, which we love. We didn't have that at that time. And, I was like, hey, I haven't played Wandersong in a while. That came up at some point. Oh, Mars had said something like she never played, but she wanted to. And so it was like, all right, I'm going to play Wandersong. And then Mars comes in. And so we were playing Wandersong. And we had a good time with that. And chat had a good time with that. And so we kept playing once a week. That was something that we would do. We would play. Dylan ended up...
And that was how we started doing the voices for it. This is when Dylan comes in.
Dylan ended up seeing a stream and was literally like, hey... can I come in? There was a pirate guy on screen. He was like, can I join? I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
We had died in a pirate campaign about a couple months back. So the pain was still fresh.
So so he joins in. He wants us to do the voices. The 3 of us are voicing together. He doesn't have an avatar yet. He is just his Discord profile picture in the corner at the beginning of that.
Oh, those were the old days.
But we had a lot of fun. It was a really fun time. So I went, hey, when we finished Wandersong, let's play Ace Attorney. That was a game I had always wanted to play. I thought it'd be funny since Dylan was at the time studying to be a lawyer. I know Mars had never played the games, but was in the fandom kind of with she had seen the anime and stuff. It was like, I want to do that. I thought that was cool. I knew I had been seeing the first trilogy on Steam. I was like, that's an easy thing to do. So that's what we started. And we were having a lot of fun. And eventually a lot of people started joining us. People were enjoying it. And then by the second game, a lot of, our mainstays here had joined in Turnabout Big Top era. Right? And
that's where we actually started becoming funny.
Yeah. Okay, we do have our moments in the first game,
more.
But we definitely get into it later.
We were playing
Sleep's cursing us over here.
So by the book originally.
You gotta get into it. But then I had a thing where me personally, I don't. So then when more people were joining in past where we had started, right, where it was actually being people coming to stream for it, I had thought about, I personally as a person do not like to watch game VODs not live, because to me the idea of watching a stream is to interact, right? Is interact. But I totally will watch Let's Play videos 100%. So I was like, all right, I want to make our videos into Let's Play videos because I might want to watch them again, because I want to experience these jokes again. I don't want this to be a one and done thing. I want to get to have these moments again, because this is really fun. I really like this time we're having. And so I was posting those videos literally for me, Mars, and Dylan. I was editing them for the 3 of us and not necessarily to get any sort of traction. But of course, they ended
it was
up
more
doing
of an archive originally.
Yeah, and it still is. That is the driving force of it, is definitely that. But they started getting, you know, traction. And then I've just gotten better at my personal craft, you know, as you do it, you just get better at it. You just think of more ideas as you do things, you know, moving from identical thumbnails the whole time because it was just an archive. I wasn't trying to get like views on it, you know, to the meme thumbnails, to now drawing every thumbnail.
Trying to get people.
So now to an extent, I do want to grow. I don't think, if I'm being honest, I don't think I ever want to go viral. I'd actually be kind of concerned if we went fully viral. I feel like that'd be a rather scary scenario because it just means that there's a lot of... I feel like
that'd be so much pressure.
It feels like it just means there's a lot of people who don't, quote unquote, know you yet, right? And obviously you don't know us to the extent you know a real life person, but like there's a difference from being with a streamer for a long time and like catching the vibe and then seeing one short and going to watch them, right? Like it's a very big... Oh, yeah. An anime I won't watch, Allie, because I can't do it. I can't do it. You all forget. What are we talking about? The enlargements.
One day I might, if I want to torture myself enough.
I can't do it.
Did
I
we
can't
forget
watch
the
that
enlargement?
We didn't forget the enlargement.
No, we did not forget the enlargement.
I'll never forget the enlargement.
We started ad-libbing a little bit more toward the end.
I will say we caught our stride
picked up is that second game.
I think where the level that Ace Attorney we have now actively starts in 1.4. That's where it is. The existence of On Karma, one, brought Dylan really into doing his thing, and two, we were just in the story at this point. Like we knew the characters now, we understood how the game worked, right? It was like, I think that definitely 1.4 really starts the beginning of it. 1.5, again, we do a lot in 1.5. A lot of jokes come from 1.5. Then, you know, again, 2.1, 2.2 are great, but 2.3, a lot of people joined, and Dylan realized that chat liked his puns. And that is, and then that's all she wrote. It's all she wrote.
All she wrote. All the way home. Yeah, there you go, Penguin. Here we are today.
You're just gonna scroll by without saying howdy, partner? Yeah, really. No, terrible. But obviously, like, I do think there are funny moments in the first game. The redirects prove that. I will do
redirects, definitely.
Rewatch the redirects. But there is definitely there's definitely a level of comfort you get from just doing it more, you know? You get more comfortable with it. And that's how it is.
100%.
But, yeah, so basically all of the quote-unquote success that we've had, what am I getting to, Sleep, is doing something because we want to. Now, there is a level of effort put in,
there's a little bit of have to in there, but honestly, the want tos outweigh those.
The want tos greatly outweigh it. I would not be editing the videos. I would not be doing the amount of editing I have to do for the Ace Attorney videos if I did not enjoy getting to relive them and having the archive and getting to do the creative part of it, right? There is not a time that I personally want to ever fully hand over the reins of the video editing to somebody else. There are parts of that process that I am okay with handing off because they're not necessarily as creative or as like a part where I'm like, I have a vision. So like I do have Zilla Safe does edit some of the some of the open captions. I would ideally want somebody to cut the videos, which is basically just cutting them for silence, right? It's a quote unquote menial job, right? That isn't like, you're not making decisions. Where I want to be the one to choose what memes I put in. I want the one to decide that I want to have an animation here and just do like an animini, just do it when I do. I want to be the person that like picks what stays in the video
It's
and what
the
doesn't.
executive decisions that need to be made.
I don't think I could ever hand over the reins to anybody, and I feel like that is a large reason why I don't think this could ever be a job,
Exactly,
like a
Penguin.
final job.
You have to because you want to.
Exactly. Yeah. And so all of this is because we have fun in it. And, you know, the Origami Curio isn't dead because, like, I still do that sort of thing every once in a while, but it's not the level that it used to be, and it definitely doesn't grow to the level it once did because I can't do it all the time, and that sort of influx of content that was naturally occurring does no longer naturally occur. And so, you know, if there was a scenario where we were playing D&D, or even if we were playing Pathfinder with a lot more homebrew content, it's just not as big of a thing in Pathfinder, I would do more Origami Curio things. That's just how it would go. I would make time for it, but we don't have that, and so it's not as big of a thing. Whereas, like you see, I do it with Dichotomy Games because they make content, and I go, oh, I want to be a part of that. I will make time to do that.
Ooh, interesting.
Similarly, like, I have for a long time wanted to do the tree tuber channel that it will be made called Art Boreal, and that is why I put so many hours into Cersei. That is why I did Cersei. She would not exist if I did not want to do that really bad, because trees are a large passion of mine, and something I've definitely found out through the years of doing my job is I really love to teach people about trees. That's always been my most favorite part of my job. People asking me questions about trees. And unfortunately, being a teacher or professor is really not a viable option for me personally.
It's to be a professor.
It's expensive to be a professor, but it's also like you're not paid that well to do way more work that I have to do right now. So it's
so very true.
You know, I am much more of a person that would rather be fulfilled by my hobbies than by my job. I do enjoy my job. I will say I'm very lucky that the job that I'm in is in my field. The people that I do work with have all been very great, and they do ask me questions sometimes about trees, so I do get to answer. Some of them are curious, right? Like, I am a cool professional in that way, but I know for a fact that a job that would do the teaching part would just not be viable for me to have a comic and stream and run a YouTube channel and run a second YouTube channel. You know, like, it's just, it wouldn't be viable for that. And the free time that I have would be a lot too little for me to do that. So it's a trade-off, you know, and it's something you definitely have to think about and weigh the options. And that's why I will always say that we're hobbyists. And now I know that Dichotomy's been on here and said, like, oh, by definition, you know, we are professionals, because, like, I do make money from commissions. You know, we do make an amount from YouTube, you know, videos and that sort of thing.
It's a little bit, and it's enough to put back into, you know, future games,
donations
that we play
from the comic. But yeah, but all of it goes directly into that, you know. Every commission I make actually goes directly into a fund that I use to pay, you know, Zilla for her edits, for her work. Same with the Ko-fi goes into funding. We have some certain tools that help with, like, the comic and things like that. We have a website that's happening, you know, definitely added to that.
Oh, so exciting.
All things. It was very fun. Yeah, 100% Penguin.
Exactly,
and that too.
Penguin. No, definitely.
But like, and like I was saying,
we ever went into this thinking we're going to make money off of this.
Definitely
to
not.
Support ourselves. Like, that was never the idea. Ori has a full-time job. I have a full-time job. And that's what's keeping us afloat, so we can do our hobbies.
Yeah, we knew that we were not trying to be comic artists. We were not trying to be, you know, YouTubers professionally as our main source of income. because I also feel like to do it at that level, with the intent to do it at that level and not just, quote unquote, you know, slowly grow over time to have a following, but at the level we have, would just be a lot and volatile. And if I'm being honest, I'm not the biggest purveyor of the do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. You know, don't do something you absolutely despise, but I feel like you could definitely be very fulfilled by not doing your favorite thing in the world all the time.
It's all about that balance.
It is all about that balance. It's all about that balance. About that balance. No trouble. All right, what am I doing? American Badger.
You're either drawing a leg or a tail.
I'm drawing a tail. I just want to re-look at the American Badger's tail, because it is very specific looking. It's pretty stubby.
Oh yeah. He be a fierce boy.
He do be a fierce boy.
Fierce little guy.
He's definitely not a little guy. He is definitely not a little guy.
I say that as endearing, not an accurate description.
I think it's more because it kind of comes like this, but the hair kind of comes this way down like that, something like that. The other leg is here. Gonna give him his tummy there. Beautiful. He is a smashable boy, this is true. Little guy in spirit.
He will be.
No, I mean, look at him. Look at him go.
Every character in Outcast is of age, for the most part.
You will know, and they won't have names.
If that's where you
or
lean,
they'll be.
Yes, they are smashable.
My goal is that all of the children that will ever exist in Outcast will be very obviously children.
The children will look like children. We will not
There
have
will
any
not be
weird
any
Spy X
anime
Family man baby children.
Yeah, and there will not be any anime middle schoolers here. Okay, they will all look like children, and that is my goal.
Everyone
shall
have the
child
right
two.
proportions.
Yes, that is something I specifically strive for.
Well, Penguin, there is going to be a scene with lots of children coming up. I'm actually having so much fun
some characters
writing
have
it.
younger siblings.
Yes.
Some characters have childhood trauma that will be shown at some point, maybe.
Yep,
where
so
they have to be
need childhood
children.
versions of themselves.
We're not avoiding children, that's for certain. But they
certainly
will
not.
look like children, and I will make sure they look like children.
Is part of the goal.
Yes.
Yes, childhood trauma. Look forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
No, two of the children scenes I am very much looking forward to is one involving a group of children. That's going to be very, very wholesome. And then another involving a character's little sister, which is also going to be very, very wholesome. In fact, we're going to be setting up for that in the port art during their trip to port. So that's going to be fun. See you in a bit, Mason. Enjoy.
See you, Mason.
That! Oh my god, there is something flying around in here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, I got it!
Oh,
okay,
shit.
I'm gonna go wash my hands. BRB.
Okay. Damn. Mars leaves me. Yeah, I know, right? Pastry, it's so shocking. Yeah, that's also true, Allie. There won't be any media teenagers that don't look like middle schoolers. They'll all look young, I'll promise. They'll all look too young, I promise. Yeah, Penguin, yeah.
I knew I saw something flying out of the corner of my eye. Dang it. Sheesh.
Sheesh. All right.
Weirdly designed teenagers, indeed, Penguin. I will say this. Western media, Avatar The Last Airbender passes, Voltron passes, Owl House, Amphibia, they all pass the teenager test.
This is true. Gravity Falls, Dipper
Gravity
and Mabel
Falls
are the
too.
right looking age.
I'd say Adventure Time also passes.
Yeah, because he gets older.
Make
He gets
them
older.
too
And he
bad.
sounds young too. That's very important as well. Finn had a young voice actor, and they aged Finn as Jeremy Shada aged. So it worked out.
I honestly love that they did that.
Very
I love
well.
when shows let you grow up alongside the character.
Yeah.
Steven Universe did that too, and it was phenomenal. What did I kill? I think it was just a fly. It was buzzing around my stuffed animal, so like literally right in front of my computer, right in front of my soundboard. And we couldn't have that.
No, we couldn't have that.
I just wasn't expecting to catch it. How about live action teenagers? Ooh.
I think iCarly was okay.
One...
I think they looked young at the beginning, at least. Drake and
That's
Josh
true, but it
were
depends on what
high
era of
schoolers.
TV you're looking at.
I guess so.
Because if you're looking more at our era of TV, that was better.
I feel like they were
but
better.
If you're talking like 80s, 90s, they were hiring 21-year-olds to play middle schoolers.
Yeah. I mean, the iCarly cast was on the older side, but those were both high school. All of the ones I remember watching were high school. So like iCarly, Victorious, Drake and Josh, they were all high schoolers. So it's like a bit easier. I didn't watch Ant Farm. Were they middle school or high school? I remember them looking pretty young.
Ant Farm was an interesting case because they were middle school, but because the premise of the show was they had special talents, so they were bumped up to high school to be in that.
I see.
Ant
They looked
program.
young though. I remember them like at the beginning
looked young.
looking very young, like looking the right age.
I remember Ant Farm being like a fever dream. Those jokes were so out there.
I didn't watch it. I like saw 1 or 2 episodes when it came out. But like I feel like a lot of those shows were like they looked more their age. I do think it did get like it could have been argued to get a little odd as those like as the actual actors aged, but the characters were supposed to stay the same, in high school, right? In Kim Possible, and obviously they're cartoons and not, real people, but in Kim Possible, every season is 1 year of high school, right?
Oh, Angel.
Hello, Angel.
Welcome.
Oh, I have no
How many
idea,
ants
Angel.
were in Ant Farm? If we're talking about the main cast, it was the 3-friend group plus the kid that was sometimes. They really had that iCarly dynamic. You know that dynamic
Yeah,
of
that's what they were going for.
the 3 plus 1. So with iCarly, it was Carly, Sam, Freddie, and then Gibby sometimes. In Ant Farm, it was always... Oh God, I don't remember their names. I know China because she was the main lead. Olive? And then...
That sounds right. Olive sounds correct.
Fletcher. I'm pretty sure his name was Fletcher.
Oh God. No.
And then random tech kid that I do not remember the name of. I didn't like Ant Farm as much. I think I was coming out of my live action Disney phase once I realized they were never going to make anything as good as That's So Raven and
Drake and Josh, though. Drake and Josh.
Well, Drake and Josh was on Nickelodeon.
That's true. I didn't. Was Hannah Montana
Let's see. Oh, I
Disney?
did like Lizzie McGuire. That was good. Hannah Montana was good. Sweet
Was
Life
Sweet
on
Life-
Deck, I
okay,
remember
Sweet
that
Life.
continuation being all right. Although they really turned Cody into a jerk in those later
Yeah,
seasons. I feel like got
they
flanderized so
flanderized.
much.
No, definitely.
And then what was the other one? Oh, Wizards of Waverly Place. But then even they started going off
that
the
makes
rails
sense,
for
Angel.
their later seasons.
The 3 genders: lead, boy, and girl. Vibe.
Lead,
Next
boy, and
Mars.
girl.
Next comic, and the lead has to be NB specifically.
Oh, I'm so here
The
for
3
that.
genders: lead, boy, and girl.
Oh my god.
It would just be really funny.
It's too good.
I love all those memes, all those like, oh yes, mom, boy, and girl, the genders of mug or whatever.
they Larried him in a way, Pastry Puff.
He went
was
from being
always
like
the smart twin.
yeah,
and he
but then
went
he
from
got
being,
like
a
cocky
sweet,
smart.
genuine guy to being, oh well, I'm the smartest, therefore
yeah,
I'm the better
he
one.
went from
and it's
being-
like, okay, now you're insufferable.
You sort of had like the smart twin and you had like the jock twin, right? That was like the dynamic.
Yeah.
And basically
But they
when
were always treated as kids still.
they
Like
were
Zach could
kids.
have his smart moments and Cody could have his dumb moments.
yeah, but Cody was definitely more like the goody two shoes, you know, just didn't want to do the wrong thing sort of kid, right? Where he was like sweet and nerdy, but not necessarily. When he got older, they made him more like the actually type nerd that everybody hates.
That's it.
That's what they did to him.
I remember not liking it very much.
Yeah.
Especially when they just went so back and forth on his
Pastry Puff.
relationship with Bailey.
Yes, very
Like, after a
accurate.
while, I was just like, girl, he's not treating you well. Walk away. I'm glad we can help you out, Penguin.
I'm so glad. I love Kim Possible so much. Like I said, I've watched it
so
many
damn
times since it
good.
first came out. It's a
I
big
used to watch that so late at night on TV because they would always do the reruns at like 12 a.m. in the morning.
it's a big memory with my dad because like my dad would know a lot of the jokes. He would watch it with me, so he would like make the jokes, like he would reference the show and he can do the voices. So it was always like a fun thing there. And like I said, he ripped them onto DVDs for me to watch in the car. So it was like I knew those episodes inside and out. And I mean, still to this day, like, God, do I remember everything.
It's even funnier, Ori, because like it even has like relation to us as well. When we were working on those music videos for Spanish class for those projects, you put the soundtrack for Kim Possible in like your little CD player, and we just listened to that.
Yeah, because I had that.
We were working on that
great.
script.
It was great.
And our favorite one was the Ron Stoppable song where he kept going, "Can I
love
get
it.
a booyah?"
So good.
Now look at the camera, say cheese.
Cheese. Look at the camera, say cheese. Beautiful.
Cheese.
It's okay, Allie.
So
Allie, there is very few episodes that require context. It's just more of like sometimes you just get a little knowledge, but it's never required except for like I think there's like besides the movie, I think there are 2 groups of multi-part episodes that are like 3 different parts. But we will watch those all together. So everybody in chat, please never feel like bad about missing one, right? Like you can totally come in and still fully enjoy.
You can still enjoy it.
All of them. And like, yeah, like so many of the jokes are repeated, you know, but like just the vibe is great the whole time. Like their vibe is never not great. It's just fantastic. Ooh, nice Pastry Puff. That's great. We always love when you can do that sort of stuff in school.
Love it. Honestly, Pastry Puff, I might ask to read that essay when you're done with it. Not to judge, just to enjoy.
Just to learn.
I always find it interesting when characters get flanderized, because it's like, what led to this? You were doing so well before. What, pray tell,
I love that one too.
to you?
Angel, that one's so good. I love that one too a lot. Yes,
that
that's
one's
right.
amazing.
It's a naked mole rat. Come on, y'all. Let the girlie sing. Listen to the naked mole rat.
Okay, I wonder if Kim Possible has songs nearly as iconic as Phineas and Ferb.
Because that was the era. It's Disney. Because that's what Disney was meant to be. All of them did that. That's what Disney was. Disney was singing.
They need to go back.
Yeah, seriously. Yes. Beautiful thing that happens.
People
Kim and
like
Ron never get flanderized.
It.
Wade
I never liked
doesn't
Larry's
get
womanizing
flanderized.
tendencies. Especially when he's hitting on Maya. Ew.
Ew. doing it to Pearl's voice on the phone. She's single digits years old.
Yeah, that was actually disgusting.
She should never be able to sound like an adult, okay?
No. Oh, it's gonna be satirical. That's gonna be so much stuff.
It's so fun, pastry.
Ooh, the Daniel Tiger intro. You guys are bringing back all the memories. I had Cyber Chase stuck in my head today.
Ooh, Cyber Chase is good. Cyber Chase was a great one. Don't make modern Disney sing they can't. It's really sad. It has gone downhill kind of fast.
It's not so much that they can't sing. It's that they forgot how to Broadway.
Yes, they forgot how to Broadway, and then they gave their, like, songwriters, like, a week or some shit for whatever fucking reason. Yeah. Like, what?
I don't understand the thought process behind that. Why they thought they'd get good by doing that.
Yeah. What did they think it was gonna have?
Classic Sleep. So
it's
classic.
A beautiful day in the neighborhood. I think it also happened. There was such a, like, internet discourse at one point about people, like, hating on musicals. And, like, why is everybody just breaking out into song? And it's just like, why do you hate fun?
Because it's a show, but it's like, and you can do whatever the hell you want.
Like, one, I'm sorry you live a sad life and don't just break out into song sometimes. And two, why does it, when did it have to be realistic? When like, was I doing that? When was I here to watch real life?
Here for realism,
you know, because Phineas and Ferb is totally realistic. Besides the breaking out into song part, right? Like, it's totally Kim Possible. You know, totally a normal thing. You know, like I could feel the realism.
High schoolers becoming spies all the time.
Just like what? Body becomes a metronome. You just tick back and forth. Yeah, I'll never understand that argument.
I don't get it.
I will admit, I'll also never understand the argument of people just completely hating Hell of a Boss for no explicit reason other than they didn't want it to be not Hell of a Boss, Has Been Hotel. They didn't want it to be a musical, and it's like, did you have no idea what Vivzy Pop is about? Then do you?
The music video for Angel Dust.
The music videos, the pilot. Like I don't know. They sing in the first like minute, you know, like so stop watching.
Yeah.
What?
It's very true, Angel.
There is no shame in it.
I actually use that to stay awake while I'm driving.
God. If I'm falling asleep, I turn up that music and I'm belting shit out.
Oh yeah.
There was a show that actually was kind of funny at the beginning. It was called Zoe's Epic Playlist. And it was basically she, like, contracted some sort of ability, you know, just mystical ability, that everyone would break out into a musical number, flash mob style thing. And one of the people, she would be, like, hearing their innermost thoughts through this song. But everybody else is, like, playing along. But it's not actually happening in real life. It's all just happening visually to her. But it would be, like, real. Like these are the real things that people are feeling. And they did some, like, really emotional shit with it. Like, I did cry. Like, you know, it definitely had its moments. You know, but that's, like, a cool way to do that. Because basically there was a point her father was, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but, you know, he was unable to communicate and speak. I can't remember if it was ALS or dementia or whatever, but he could sing in his head to her, right? And nobody knew this, but she could know it, right? His thoughts through this, like, magical power. And it's, like, a very emotional moment. He's, like, singing a very beautiful song, you know, this sort of thing. Yeah, it was great, Allie. It was really nice. Got our antidepressants. You got them antidepressants.
Well,
I only know like.
Remember this show I saw? This was really good for people who like musicals, especially the classic like MGM and Broadway musicals. This was such an interesting show. It was called Smigadoon. It was Schmigadoon, sorry, and it was live action. And basically, the premise
Pastry
was
Puff, write a home story, please.
Who's on the brink of divorcing, find themselves essentially isekai'd
Paralyzed
into a world where everybody sings and everyone's in a musical. Now, in the first season, and the whole show is a parody, which is phenomenal. The first season is a parody of the traditional MGM musicals. So they're satirizing like I'm trying to think, My Fair Lady, all the Judy Garland musicals, stuff like that. And that one was good. I enjoyed that. I like the original MGM musicals. But then season 2, oh my God, season 2 was so fun because they change genres. Like as the story changes, the genres change. So season 2 gets a little bit darker. And when that happens, they start to parody the musicals that came out in like the 70s when things started to get a little bit darker. Like I'm talking the Sweeney Todds of the Broadway world. Like there is actually a whole subplot that's literally a parody of Sweeney Todd. And it's honestly hilarious the way everything connects and links back to each other. But then the songs themselves, all original and all really, really good. Like, I don't remember a single song from that I didn't like. So if you like good satire, and if you are a musical fan, like you appreciate that style, and when people play around with the formula, I do recommend Schmigadoon. Check it out. I don't hear enough people talking about it. Estrock, it's called Schmig. It's so hard to spell.
Yeah, it's a rough one to spell. I'm like, I know this one.
Hang on. Schmigadoon. I'm just gonna copy paste.
But Pastry Puff, oh my God, I need you to write a home story at this point, Pastry Puff. One, you know so much about it that this would be really, really cool adaptation. And two, I need like today's modern version of Holmes being like ADHD. Like now knowing about it, like doing things like having fidget toys and shit, like this would be amazing.
Yes, please.
Like obviously, as we talked about, Dr. Amaku is a really good one, being, you know, like definitely autistic coded, right? Amaku?
Oh, absolutely.
Really, really good as well. Honestly, he could be AU, you know, odd HD. I don't know how you pronounce that acronym, but you know what I'm talking about. The autism ADHD combo, you know, could be Holmes. Would be epic. Like, need that so much.
Tis peak, my lord.
It would be peak. ADHD. At the beginning, Estrock, I had fun with Elementary. I got kind of bored of it as it went on. You know, I feel like it went on too long, sort of thing. I did like the earlier episodes. If you want an anime, Estrock, there's an anime, and it's not specifically Sherlock Holmes, but it's an anime. It's called Dr.
But it does
Amaku.
have Sherlock in it.
That's not what I'm talking about. We have mentioned that one before. That one's also a good adaptation.
Okay.
But I was gonna say where it's like more like focused on the Sherlock Holmes dynamic is Dr. Amaku, PhD. That's a good anime. It has a doctor. Yeah.
Oh, good.
She's great. She's really interesting.
Very Ace Attorney like.
The mysteries are very Ace Attorney like. It's just they definitely have like Sherlock Holmes Watson dynamic inspiration going on, sort of thing. It's great. Yes, if you want, like, definitely this is supposed to be Sherlock and Moriarty. Moriarty the Patriot is an anime that is a very interesting take on Moriarty specifically. It does have a significant amount of Sherlock in the second half. Pastry Puff loved it, and if you know anything about Pastry Puff, you know, Pastry Puff also loved Dr. Amaku. But if you know anything about Pastry Puff being obsessed with Sherlock, really, really good, you know, praise there.
It speaks for itself. Also, Sherlock and Moriarty, very, very gay.
Yes, very gay. In a good way.
Gay. Oh, in the best of ways.
Yeah, and to go off Pastry Puff's thing about drug use wasn't very criminalized, not even that it wasn't criminalized, cocaine was just in medicine. Like you went to an apothecary and you got, like, literally Coke. You know, like, that was, Coca-Cola was, like, a medicinal, like, it was all medicinal originally. You know, they put something else in, like, hysterical. So many of the, like, really addictive drugs that, you know, we consider, you know, that are illegal or considered very dangerous today were at that point in time literally just what you were prescribed for a lot of issues.
Yep. That's how it went.
Yeah, see,
And
again,
time to be
Dr.
alive.
Amaku is Pastry Puff approved.
It's Pastry Puff certified. This is a pastry certified puff. Please enjoy at your leisure.
Sleep, have you ever seen
Ooh,
Gurren Lagann?
Kamen Rider, very fun. Ori and I watched Futo
PI. Yes.
which is a continuation of Kamen Rider. Now, we didn't really need Kamen Rider to really enjoy
Yeah.
Futo PI.
I liked Futo
So,
PI on its own.
if
We
you
need to
watch an
watch the
animated
movie.
version
We
of
need to
that.
find the movie.
You need to watch the movie. Where the hell can we find that?
I have to look into it. I didn't, Mason, but very fun.
Ooh, a fun fact.
Be less fun. It is less fun, Estrox. So that is the big thing with elementary homes as well. His big thing is being a recovering addict. That's a large part of his words, like characterization. It's less of a big deal in the beginning, and that's why, like, I think the first episodes are better. But yeah, Adderall would be a fun one. Like, it'd be very interesting because he could be not necessarily addicted, but just like the functionalness of it, right?
Mm.
No, that's cool, Mason, about your characters. It's good to have that rep.
That it is. Oh, I
Narration.
forgot some crap.
It just means he was a smarter doctor, Pastry Puff. Yes, also very, very great. We love the Watson Holmes, like, friend dynamic, man. They're one of, like,
Oh,
the
it's so
biggest,
good.
like, platonic soulmates. God. That's a queer platonic relationship right there. That's what we got.
That really is.
That's really poster child for that shit. Yes.
At least in Moriarty the Patriot, Sherlock's heart does lie with Moriarty.
Yeah, Allie, it is definitely. Yoko's a character, though. She's at least does stuff.
Yoko does do stuff. She actually becomes a really base character. Nia always left a lot to be desired for me. Gurren Lagann was such an
Coffee.
interesting watch for me. Cause
Coffee could definitely
Allie,
be part
I'm
of it,
not sure
Estruck.
how far
like
you
it.
are into Gurren Lagann, but I will
Yes.
say there was a bathhouse episode, and that put me off the series so much. The first time I watched it, I could never get back into it, at least on my own. Then the second time I watched it, I had a friend at the time, and
Ooh,
that was
nice,
his
Mason.
favorite show of all time. So he convinced me to watch it with him, and I was like, okay, fine, let's see if the bathhouse episode is gonna break me again. So we got to the bathhouse episode. I'm like, treat it like a band-aid, treat it like a band-aid. You watch it and it's over. You watch it and it's over. Still painful. Still painful. Still did not enjoy it. But I did find, like, once I got past, you know, the I'm gonna call it the part 1. Okay, so Allie, I'm gonna say this. There's a part 1 and a part 2. It's all within the same season. It's all within the same show. But there's a very distinct, like, we are in the setup. And then
What are
that
we
setup
talking
lasts
about?
for like 8 to 10 episodes. And then that part 2 is, here's the rest of it.
Is this Gurren Lagann
And I
still?
will say it's Gurren Lagann.
Oh, okay.
I will say the part of Gurren Lagann where it was, here's the rest of it, was very interesting.
You'll know. You'll know.
You'll know. It's very hard to not know. I do think they do something very genius, which, Allie, when you watch it, I will be more than happy to discuss this as a writing point, because I find what they did very interesting.
I'll never recover.
But yeah, good luck with that bathhouse episode.
I'm gonna admit
It'd be rough.
I only apparently vaguely remember Gurren Lagann because I'm sitting here not remembering very much fan service and have no idea what the bathhouse episode is. So but I will say that part 1 I watched and then I had to stop because I was very upset. Not for any of the fan service, for what caused the end of part 1. And I couldn't do it. Much later, finally got back into it and finished it. So at that point, only the things that I remembered were very specific things in the background. So no idea.
Gurren Lagann is one of those.
Oh my god,
Angel. I will kind of always see Gurren Lagann as proto-Promare, basically.
It is yeah, I can, yeah. I mean, Kamina and Gallo are so
Gallo could literally be brothers.
They're literally both my boys. I have them sitting like on my shelf next to each other, and it's crazy.
God, this is gonna, okay, hot take. Promare is better than Gurren Lagann. And Promare looked at Gurren Lagann and said, "Can I copy your homework?" And they said, "Sure."
Ooh,
but
that sounds really fun. Yeah, literally. That sounds so much. Yeah, Allie, like I said, this Gurren Lagann is one of the first anime I ever watched with Dylan. So that was in the time of Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann. So we're talking a decade ago. Is when I watched the first half of Gurren Lagann.
And Ori doesn't rewatch things
I don't
very
rewatch
often.
things very often. I rewatch very specific things, and they're mostly things that I don't have to pay attention to. So I very don't remember. I even only very little remember the second half. But maybe I remember it slightly more. Gurren Lagann is one of those shows that it's like, I knew I enjoyed it. I knew I had a really rough time at the middle point where we go from part 1 to part 2. That one, really rough for me. We'll never forget. I know I was very emotional at the end based on like what the character did, like I liked it, like I was very, the aesthetic change, all of this sort of stuff, it like kept me in the classic shonen anime power friendship feels, you know, definitely here for that. I remember the basic premise of like spiral power and all that stuff, like and what they went up against, and you know, the mechs and all of this sort of stuff, but like a play-by-play, yeah, no. Could I summarize it? Yes. I remember having to be reminded of a character's existence, though. And he was like a villain that came around a fair amount of times. So I get used to things like mosquitoes. I'm not Federico. Well, I will rewatch Over the Garden Wall. It's one, it's short, it's just a long movie, and two, it's just so good. It's so thematic and so good. I will sometimes
shows that has that fall aesthetic. Like I have never seen anything as fall,
and it's a quick rewatch
Gravity
too.
Falls, but
Gravity Falls is summer. Gravity Falls is
summer
summer without question. No, Gravity Falls is summer vacation. That's the whole point. It's summer.
But it's also got that creep factor.
Yeah,
and it's in the woods, so
but it's very summer to me.
Associated
even
with
summer
as
weed,
well.
They like push it summer real hard. But
Over the Garden Wall is the quintessential.
Over the Garden Wall I
fall
rewatch
show.
definitely every year. That one specifically. Besides that,
you rewatch The Room. Oh my, Penguin.
Yeah, Penguin's an odd duck, we've learned. Pun
I thought
intended.
penguin was a penguin.
No. An odd duck. Yeah, a penguin is an odd duck, is it not?
Oh, that's true.
Water, but no
That's true.
flying.
A penguin is an odd duck.
A penguin's an odd duck, and our penguin is no different.
That
No
is very
less
true.
odd. Beep, beep, boop, beep, beep, boop, beep. Yeah, see, and that's amazing that I do. I have only seen the moral oral clips. I don't think I could do. If you do like that though, Estrog, you might enjoy Metal Family. That's a good one too. Gravity Falls. No, it literally did. Yes, Angel. Yeah, it did. The only shows that I would say I've like really rewatched. I've seen Gravity Falls a bunch of times. Mostly because I watched it myself, and then I watched it with Dylan, and then I watched it with Mars, and then I watched it with friends at college, and then I watched it again with other friends at college. So, like, just in showing it to people, I've watched it a lot of times. And it's not that long, right? I will find that most shows that I do rewatch are just, like, they don't take up that much time. I think the longest show that I have rewatched is definitely Adventure Time, but I've definitely seen the earlier episodes way more times than the later episodes, just by nature of I have been watching it while it was coming out. You know, so there's just physically more time that the earlier episodes have been in existence. And metal, like metal music, like hard, like a metal band. That's what it's about. It's about metal music. So with a T, metal, metal family. The penguin advises me to Discord server filled with silly goobers. There you go. That's how it goes down. That's how it ends, as Dylan would say. Whoops. That was a dumb. Don't be dumb. Stop being dumb. Ah. That's why. It was me being dumb in a different way. Whew. Different way than I thought I was being dumb. But that's okay.
It's okay. We forgive you, Ori.
You better. Beautiful.
I'm almost done with all these notes, you guys.
Higher script to the Harry Potter music. Wild.
Takes for friggin' ever.
Federico, that reminds me. My middle school best friend at the time, we would hang out a lot, and we would play with my Webkins, and we would make like little stories about them. And one of the things is, so I'm ace as fuck, and it really showed when you deal with like middle school Ori and this friend, because this friend was very not ace, and they
I think I might know the friend you're
you
talking
definitely
about.
know the friend I'm talking about.
Okay.
And
I had a feeling I just had to be sure.
Yeah, and so they had a lot of crushes at the time. And so we had like a whole...
Oh, yeah.
We had the classic, like, they have like secret code names for all of the people in our friend group and who they like, who this friend likes. And they would come over to my house and we would play with my Webkins, and we each had like, one of us was an animal. So I was like, I had a little monkey Webkin, and I think they were a penguin Webkin, I'm pretty sure. And then we had their like main three crushes at that time. That is very much what the ACE stands for, Angel. Yes, Mars and I are ACE. We are the aces, the two aces. And Dylan
ace.
is the attorney. Wait, what are we doing, Estrock? Oh, memorize the script of the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know, it all lines up, Estrock.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure drop. Nice, Angel.
But the mango movie, the Lego movie, memorize. That's a vibe. So what I was getting, so we would play, And the premise of the game is that all of us were locked in our middle school. And there was no one in it. We were just stuck in the middle school, and we like made like we had this one science teacher.
Premise in fan fiction before.
Yeah, basically this one's. I mean, this is the friend that I learned about fan fiction from, and this is basically the friend that has definitely shaped me being in the fandom space at all. It's their fault. They did that. Yeah. And like they're definitely responsible for the BL. Like it's them. But yeah, and we had this one science teacher, and we thought he was the coolest shit, so his room was like extra cool because like we found shit in his drawers that even he didn't realize that he had, and so it was like really mystical. So we made it basically he had like a portal with a bunch of like crazy sci-fi things, and you could like go to different places, but you're still like trapped in the school, whatever. And it was basically like a dating sim of them and their crushes, and I was just there to be like the wingman basically. But at one point, and it kept like growing, we did like many episodes of it. I remember too much of this, but eventually they found a TV, and the TV could only play SpongeBob, and we didn't have an actual TV, so we acted out so in the middle of this game, the two of us would stop playing the doll characters, and we would just recite SpongeBob episodes. From memory, we couldn't look anything up. We would just recite full episodes and sing the song. We did like Pretty Patty and like all of that. Insane. Prelude to a Danganronpa game. I do think one of them got out.
Ooh,
because
who's the lucky
friend,
survivor?
his code name was Bread, and his code name was actually the like instigator of the whole code names thing, because his actual name was very close to Bread. And then it was Dorito and Mozzarella.
Oh, then I know who it is.
Yeah, you definitely know who it is, which makes no sense. I'm sorry, but like him, but you know.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, middle school really puts it into perspective.
Yeah, there's another boy that the friend actually dated, and his name was Salami. There's a lot of people.
Oh, Salami, I remember.
Salami, yeah. He was never in the game. It was Bread, Mozzarella, and Dorito. And then at one point there was no... Oh, and then there was Radish. Oh, we added Radish. Bread left, and Radish came in.
I was about to say, wasn't there... Why do I feel like there was a jelly bean at one point?
There definitely someone was a jelly bean. I don't remember who, though. But that is a character. You played the Lion, the Witch, of the Warbow as dating sim.
Yeah. Stuck in my head. Oh, Gumball.
Something you want to know is how does Ori meet
Gumball is so good.
Ace Attorney series, and how was the first contact? It's one of those things where like being on the internet, especially in fandom space, and then especially in fandom space that involves a lot of people shipping like BL, you know about Rightworth. Like you can't avoid it. Oh, yeah. It's very prevalent. And so it's one of those things where it's like you always kind of know about it. And I always kind of knew of their existence, and I knew of the game, and it was always a game that I wanted to play. And then so basically when like stream came around and we had this moment after playing Wandersong, it was very much just like, yeah, this is the next step. I think this would be very funny to play with Dylan specifically, and he was into it too. And so we're like, let's go. And that's all she wrote.
Dylan is a lawyer.
Thought it'd be Bill
those
Nye.
Just joining us tonight.
Bill Nye was good, but we couldn't recite it from memory. I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob until I was 10, Mason. I was specifically banned from watching it until I was 10 years old. And then my mother kind of realized that, like, that's how the kids bond. Everybody else is watching SpongeBob. I want my child to be able to talk about it with her peers. And I was allowed to watch SpongeBob. That was basically it. That episode that has no dialogue, the leaf blower episode. Yeah, no, we didn't do that one. He got that bread. Yeah, he did.
Now that I'd pay to see.
Radish was added to the plot. It was similar to other murder mysteries. I might as well try it. And yeah, No Life of Waldron, exactly. Yeah, that was really well. It was one of those things that struck where it's like, I definitely was aware that like it had reason in the game, right? Like it wasn't just out of thin air. But yeah, definitely when that moment happens, it's like, wow, I did not realize it was this blatant. Because you're so used to like subtext at that point. You know, like definitely my growing up in the fandom space is definitely like having to accept subtext, right? Having to accept that like, it's not gonna be canon. You know, you just gotta like deal with it. But like my fandom space was in the height of Super Hulock as a thing on the internet. I never watched Supernatural or Doctor Who, and I have seen only one singular episode of the BBC Sherlock, the first one. So I was never a part of the Super Hulock fandom, but I just want to state that that was the state of the internet when I got on Tumblr.
Hulock is wild.
That's when I got on Tumblr, was at the height of Super Hulock. So like that's just the environment that I had. And my friends were very into the Super Hulock. I was not.
Mason, it's really funny that you say you were allowed to watch The Simpsons.
I was very
but
not
SpongeBob,
allowed. Yeah, I was very not allowed to watch The Simpsons.
I was very not allowed to watch SpongeBob either. And my mom's reasoning for that was, it's too stupid. It's gonna rot your brain. There's nothing substantial going on here. Puff. And what made that so ironic was at 8 years old, my parents would watch Hell's Kitchen, you know, the competition show where Gordon Ramsay yells curses at everybody. I could watch that sitting next to my mom, no problem.
Yeah, wild, right? Wild what parents decided was okay or not.
I don't think it was so much of okay, because I was a little bit of a rule breaker as a child. They put me to bed, and then of course I'd sneak back down the stairs, sit on the steps. The way my living room is the TV faces the staircase, but the staircase is out of view unless you're looking around the corner. Doesn't quite work that way anymore because now we have a mirror right in front of the staircase, so you could see someone coming down. But at the time, no one could tell if you were sitting on the steps, so I would just hang out there and watch movies. Through these
banister slats. Oh my god!
Watch all of it.
Yeah.
And then at one night they discovered I was sitting there and they were like, you know what, just join us. At least then we can actively tell you what words not to say.
Yeah, really.
I think that was like
you
the
started
only
with
reason
that
I started watching, because they were just like, we need to make sure she doesn't say these words.
Oh, came into this game. Yeah. No, it's...
So, Estrock, I'm going to say, the reason why everyone is like has that reaction to the unnecessary
pastry.
Feelings line.
Yeah, pastry.
Oh, it was pastry?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Estrock.
Oh, I'm seeing both of them talk about series. I'm sorry, I meant pastry. Also, literally all the colors are the same. How am I supposed to distinguish?
On YouTube, you're kind of screwed.
I am very screwed. But pastry, I think everyone has that reaction to the right worth line, because especially like back in those days, we were used to getting crumbs of hints at a same-sex relationship, like, you know? Like, you could comb through shows looking for those little crumbs of, oh, their fingers touched, or oh, a look, oh, a moment of support, and we would use those as our building blocks to make a ship, right? So seeing something so blatant for right worth, not as hidden, like you don't have to dig into the text for that. You don't have to like extrapolate from the moment. It's just there in front of you.
Them being like rivals.
A lot of people would have that reaction.
Them being like rivals in the first place also adds to the fact of it, because it adds to just like, oh, they're rivals, people are gonna ship them, right? Even if there's not like a lot of anything
it's the
else.
Naruto Sasuke effect.
Yeah, right. I don't ship Naruto Sasuke. I hate it. I don't like it. You do you, boo boo, but no. Sasuke's a bitch. We hate Sasuke
like
in this house.
Sasuke if Sasuke's learning his lesson.
Yeah, but we hate Sasuke in
being...
this house and in my house, and that's just me because Dylan hadn't watched it since like being a child, and so I hate Sasuke in this house.
Not seen that newspaper article as Chuck.
But yeah, and so it's one of those things where like you just sort of accept, oh, they're rivals, they're going to be shipped, and that's kind of what I expected out of Ace Attorney, was their rivals, they're going to be shipped, right? But then it's like, no. There's actually like evidence here. Like there's actually stuff here, wild, and it's just unexpected with it. I want a song, yes. Watch SpongeBob Elementary School. Yeah, it seems like a lot of stuff like that. The funny curse shit. Kidding. The moon is beautiful tonight, exactly. And then you make a ship out of the wood planks. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that Genshin Impact quest I played was so friggin' gay.
Especially Penguin, especially for the age of the Ace Attorney games, right? Like, especially for Ace Attorney coming out in like the early 2000s, it's definitely
I
like,
feel like it's something special when it happens in animation game aimed toward younger audiences,
and so
because
early.
then it's like you like because and this was a trope in Hollywood. I think someone was saying this earlier, but like
same reaction.
They'd always lean more toward the sexual aspects of it, right? Like if two people are together, they have to be in a sexual relationship.
Hello, Juxtapose.
But, with a kid show, with a younger show,
it's very, they were just friends. Juxtapose.
You have to, do it in different ways. You have to show connection in other ways.
Sasuke Naruto. Oh god.
I wonder if we appreciate that more because we're aces. Like we're all about the hand holding. We're all about the hugging and the cuddling.
I do think that's a part of it.
Support.
I do think that's a part of it.
Like that's so much.
I think that's also why, like in fan fiction, I'm like very into the romance because they write it very, like explicitly, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like there's a lot of description of what's happening, of what and they're very soft with each other, and they're very like, it's a lot more than just what it is. And even when you read like smut in fan fiction, when you read like well-written smut, it's a lot like it's very loving, at least from my experience in it, the fan fiction world. Like it's very, very loving. So it's just like very different vibe than when you get like more like modern media, especially like straight romance. It's very just like, not obviously man woman, they're gonna get together, and it's like no it's not obvious. What did they do?
Yeah.
Picture that they gave subtext and then bam, gay. Exactly, bitch.
Ray and Kylo.
Yeah, hate it. I don't ship Bakudeku either. I'm not a Bakudeku person. We're here for Kiribaku, and that's it.
The other one I would also argue, Sasuke and Sakura, why? Why did we do that?
Not Allie, but we may watch it. Again, we did a react to the first anime video, and it'll probably come out after Streamiversary, just because there's a very specific Streamiversary thing that I want stream upgrade wise to happen before that video is finished. But if that does decent, I mean, I want to keep watching the anime, no question, so we'll probably continue reacting to that, but I'd love to react to other Ace Attorney stuff, like the musical and things like that, the various musicals, all that sort of stuff.
That would be really fun. Fanfiction straight romance better than original straight romance.
Yeah, exactly, X-Truck. They would have a conniption.
Literally.
Yes, I remember that about the Flintstones.
The fanfiction scene is doing Jinchi and Mao Mao so much more credit than the actual show is.
Yeah, right. But yeah, go ahead, link your short joke fanfic Juxtapose. I'm sorry, I'm just slowly trying to catch up with stream. You guys are going very fast.
Yeah, this is a quick night. Oh my goodness.
They're writing it to fill
Literally
exactly
like
Penguin.
reading the smut, reading anything explicit, I'm just like blank face. But if they're doing something cute
It's
or
like,
kissing or something, I'm like, that's always my goal,
There's some
pastry
really
puff, is
good
when I'm writing my fan fictions. If I squeal, I feel like my audience is going to squeal.
Yeah, vibe.
I want them to be engulfed by cuteness.
You need the fanfictions compared. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh my goodness. No, I was literally at a very young age. So this friend that I was talking about earlier that introduced me to fanfiction, they had me read their fanfiction that they wrote. That was smut. And we were reading it on a bus going to like some field trip.
God.
And I'm, again, totally straight-faced, like reading it, you know, just because they literally asked me, they're like, does this make sense, like, physically in the space, right? Like, does their actions make physical sense in their location? And like that's what they were asking for edits for. So that's what I'm like thinking about the whole time, right? Like where are the hands physically going on the landmarks in the room and things like that. And they're like just partway through, they're like, wow, you have a really good like smut reading face. Like it's really, you know, just like nobody would ever know. And it's like, I don't think so, Mason. I don't think it's too overt. And I was just, and you know, and then you realize, yeah, that's probably mostly the ace. Yes. Oh, there's one about it. Oh, that's so. Oh, Mystery Skulls fan animation for money with Ace Attorney character. I have to see that, Federico. I love Mystery Skulls, and I love that one series that goes to Mystery Skull songs that's animated. That's really good.
Gosh, you started watching Lessons with Uramichi Onisan. That is such a good one, Pastry Puff.
Juxtapose, that's very correct.
I love that one.
Noticing BL has romance
so much
and moves on to another couple. And the great thing about a lot of BL romance that moves on to another couple is that couple is already like introduced before the end. Right, like they're one of the first couple's friends, or the one of the whatever,
like, and
it's
like
like
a background character, great. And then they get to like have their own side story. Twilight Out Focus did this so great. Well. Oh my god, Twilight Out Focus was amazing.
Yeah, put it in the couch.
Can a character be too gay? I don't think so, Allie.
I don't think a character can be too gay.
As long as you're not going off of stereotypes. That character is just existing. But yes, Pastry Puff, let me know what you think of Uramichi, because as a teacher, I love that show.
I was gonna say something else and I blanked. I had something. Talking about too gay. Oh, I wanted to say another thing that really like surprised me about Kim Possible as well is while they do have those moments of like men being more feminine, it's so early in the timeline. And while it is like kind of a goof, they don't play it off as a bad thing, right? Like it's like they play it off as a joke in the sense of that it's a circumvention of your expectation, but not in the fact that the guys are dumb about it, right? And that's what I think is really cool. Like the painting the nails in detention. There's another one that happened that I'm blanking on. But I mean, like, for the era, damn, you know? For the early 2000s, crazy.
Three episodes in, nice, Pastry Puff, nice.
What are we 3 episodes into it?
Uramichi Onisan, that's one I've been trying to talk you into, Ori.
Okay, that's the most recent one you've been trying to talk me into, though.
It's comedic slice of life, dealing with kids. It's very much like Gakuen Babysitters.
Yeah.
Except instead of high schoolers, you got an adult trying to stay happy while working a dead-end job.
Ah, beautiful. We stan.
But it's a dead-end job that involves working with kids. And I find it very hilarious.
Okay.
Because it's that whole idea of, I want to die, but I also have to put on a happy face because the kids are watching.
Yes,
Management
yes.
is screwing me over, but I have to be happy. Very fun time.
Yes, yes, Pastry Puff, yes, 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 yes. It's great. It's great. Ron is the best. I love Ron so much. Ron is Ron is so good.
Are queer platonic partners.
Jesse and James are queer platonic. Oh my god. 100%.
They are so damn queer platonic.
Ron is
but they are
good at
both
cooking.
like on the
It gets
same
better,
wavelength.
Penguin.
It's amazing.
It gets better. The Ron being goated at cooking is not. That's the other thing about Kim Possible. It's not a one-off, guys. They're not one-offs. Very rarely are they one-offs. Very rarely is anything you learn about a character swept aside and never talked about again. Never comes like it. It's all like that. Yes.
All according to Keikaku.
All according to Keikaku. I love Ron so much, and Ron and Kim relationship is so good. Every moment, they're great. They fight, they have their times, but the way they make up makes so much sense, and it's just so good, beautiful. I think it's a little more amazing. Usually, queer platonic leans into you're being like fairly domestic, but you're not like romantic. But
you're not like together.
Yeah, like queer platonic is like you're the best friends ever, and you also like live in the same house and own a dog together, right? Like that's
or, like you can cuddle with the bestie, but it's very platonic.
But you're like just watching a movie, like you're just chilling or whatever. Yeah. You know, like it's definitely like a step above you're just friends, but it's not. It's definitely usually on a level of like domestic. Yeah, it's like somewhere in the middle.
I know, Penguin. It's so rare these days.
Yes, we love Ron. I know. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, exactly. Penguin really said it there. You're platonically involved to such a degree that a person outside would associate a romantic relationship with, but that's not what you are. We can kiss the homies every once in a while too. Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely like a higher level. I definitely associate it mostly with being like you're more than just roommates. You're actually like, you know, living together like in a domestic sense, you know, things like that. Like that's all the ones I think about. Because like Jesse and James, they definitely share an apartment, you know. They would, I don't know the canon of it, right? Obviously Ron and Kim don't, you know, but like we don't talk about them.
The other one we referenced, Sherlock and
Watson. No. Yeah, Watson and Sherlock.
Sherlock and Holmes. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes, Watson and Sherlock, 100%. The level that like
midnight brain is kicked in.
The level that Holmes, like Watson takes care of Sherlock, like those sort of things.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
It's definitely it's one of those things, Pastry Puff, that is like, I know the vibe, but not the definition. You know what I'm saying? There's a vibe. You know it when you see it.
But I recognize the vibe when I see it. That's
yes,
the thing.
Juxtapose.
That's
I
key.
do recall that meme.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. See, that's why I equate clear platonic to like platonic soulmates.
Yeah.
Good night, Mason.
My goodness. Copy. Good night, Mason. And
I am so mad. There's not a single figure on this for sale page that I want.
I'm so sorry for you, Mars.
Also, they are holding my poor Sheen in quarantine hostage.
No!
Sheen, come home. Use your psychic powers to bust out.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Ah, my boy.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. He'll come home.
I just want him to come home.
Your little boy is coming home.
So sad.
Beautiful, really good queer platonic relationship webcomic is called The Interpretation of Shadows.
Ooh, I haven't read that one.
It's very good, very interesting premise. I've been following the artist long before they made it into a webcomic finally, but the webcomic has been going. I think it's a monthly thing usually.
That sounds fun.
What will my figure come over the door? I realized.
No, literally, Penguin.
So
literally.
I just got Lloyd from Spy X Family, right? He is my third anime man in a suit. And they're also all blonde.
You got a lot of anime men in suits.
And 2 of them wear gray suits. Only Lloyd has not a gray suit. But Lloyd has the exact same color hair as Nanami. And then, I mean, yeah, my fiance is a man in a suit. He's just not blonde. But honestly, that's not part of it. That's just the men in suits in anime just happen to be blonde.
The men in suits.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, pastry puff.
I will say some adaptations do lean more toward Holmes and Watson being like romantic. You kind of see it a little bit more. It's like,
Yes, Lloyd. Also, Gyu is short king, man. I got Gyu as well. So Lloyd is now my tallest figure. Now, Vash and Wolfwood are not standing up very straight, so it's hard to tell.
Vash would be that lanky boy.
Yeah. So they don't really... I'm not counting them. But between Natsu, Nanami, Lloyd, and Gyu short king, man. I don't even know wild.
I will say, Estrock, if you're in the Moriarty the Patriot fandom, Mycroft does get a ship.
Mycroft does get a ship! Watch Moriarty the Patriot, Estrock.
Mycroft does get a ship, and it's amazing.
Do it! It's really good. It's 2 seasons. The animation is beautiful. Both openings are beautiful. Both endings are gorgeous.
Both openings are
The interpretation
cinema.
of Moriarty is really cool. There's a lot of good shit in there. Pastry Puff recommends, like,
the mysteries, the setup, the way Moriarty takes down evil people is great.
It's so good. It's so good. A Watson game. Oh no.
I'd be surprised if we don't. Internet, get on that.
We should if we don't.
Ooh, sounds like the cases are progressing well, Allie.
No idea. No idea.
Not a clue. Amiku is good. I will say Pastry Puff, I do kind of see, especially with one of the side characters, where they're kind of setting up her and what's the other guy's name?
Kotori?
Not Kotori. I almost said Hitori. That's not it. Kotori.
No, not Hitori.
I could see how they're kind of starting to set that up. And I'm like, okay, it's anime. Of course we have an end game. But, you know, they also just work as really good partners.
But I also think they don't push it enough where it's like a problem. You know, they have some like one-off jokes, but it's never like a, can you get out of my vase, please? Can we just be... It's never like that. It's definitely like, okay.
Can I kick him if he's on top of me?
Oh, no, we're not talking about apothecary tires. We don't need to rehash this again and again. If I gotta
reference a good Watson Holmes interpretation, then I gotta juxtapose it with a bad Watson Holmes example, okay?
Are we saying that? I don't know if that's a Watson Holmes interpretation.
That is what people online argue. They say that Mao is Sherlock and Jinshi is
disagree.
Watson. And I could see that. I could see it in the first season. I don't see it in the second because Jinshi is useless.
Yeah, but also like Mao's her own Watson. I'm just saying.
Mao is Sherlock, and then her brain is Watson.
Yeah, Mao is both Watson and Holmes.
So why does Jinshi need to exist?
I don't need Jinshi anymore.
Can we just throw him off a cliff, please? I'm sorry, guys. I have never had a turnaround for a character so
you
quick
had
where I've
to.
gone like, I like you, to I tolerate you, and now, oh, I can't stand
I
you.
hate
Get
you.
off the screen.
But yeah, Estrak, you do have to unlock all the episodes in the first trilogy. To play the other one, Rise from the Ashes. I would have just walked through it, though. I wouldn't have played it, but that's Allie's choice. She can do what she wants.
I could see that, Penguin.
Oh,
but you know, like, you could
Estrak.
still go in with the idea of, okay, these two people are going to be together. How are we going to get there? Like, that's kind of how I did my Vash and Wolfwood fanfic, is I was like, they need to be together by the end. What are the steps we're going to take to get there?
Yeah, there should be never an adaptation where Watson is useless. The whole point is the dynamic, man.
Not at all.
The whole point is not Sherlock is a deduction god.
I appreciate the condolences, Penguin. I will say I was never as attached to Jinshi as some other people in the fandom are. I thought he was pretty, and I liked him.
I really liked him.
But I was never like, I must own a figure of you.
Yeah, well, I was never going to do that. I saw the cutest Mau Mau today, Mars.
You gotta send it to me.
I will. Oh,
Is
my
it figure
God.
or art?
It's a figure. She's really cute.
You.
She's really adorable.
But thank you for your condolences, Penguin. I think I'm mourning what Jinshi could have been.
At this point, I'm definitely mourning what Jinshi.
Better
I'm
writing,
mourning what
he could have been
Jinshi
a
was
really
in
good
season
love
1.
interest. Oh my god, that's hecka adorable.
Isn't it so cute?
Oh my god, Caramel!
It's so cute.
I love her. Oh my god.
So adorable.
Now that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So cute.
Well, Penguin, unless you're reading a romance, and that's just how the story is gonna end, then yeah, I would say you should not know those characters are going to get together at the start. But I feel like in romance books, it's pretty explicit. That's like, oh, character A met character B. All right, start playing the game because this is where we're gonna end up.
I also think it's a problem when you do like the. It can be very annoying very fast when you do like the love triangle shenanigans, but it's obvious who they're actually gonna end up with. Is like, then why?
Oh, that shit is so
then this
annoying.
other character is just a nuisance, right? Like, versus, this is what I don't understand, because Mars and I read a lot of fan fiction, and I know we both read a lot of fan fiction for ships that we specifically ship, where we're reading fan fiction where the goal is that they're getting together, right? And yet, you can read so many fan fiction where I'm not sitting here annoyed about them not being together yet. Right? Like, one of my favorite ships of all time is, of course, Clance. Okay, big
So good.
defining trait of my lived experience, and I have read a fuck ton of Clance fanfiction. I have probably read the most, like, the type of fanfiction I've read has been mostly Clance, almost undoubtedly. I read definitely like a slow burn, and it sticks in my mind. It's called The Marks We Make by Witty Name. Okay, and it is a slow burn. It's a soulmate AU, because I'm obsessed. And it's slow burn. It takes a long time. But I never sat there feeling frustrated that they weren't together yet. Why are they not together yet? Why is that not? It was just intriguing. The premise was intriguing. Everything was intriguing. It was so good.
How can you possibly make a believable love triangle where the audience can't tell who's the goal? It sounds nearly impossible. I don't think so if the characters have decent chemistry. And when I say that, I mean the chemistry has to be good between the main character, the end game, and also the other person. That way you can't tell who's endgame. I think, so I've never seen this one, but I've heard that Fruit Baskets pulls this off really well, where there's two characters, and a lot of the fandom was like, we'd be happy if she ended up with either one of them. Because both are good options. I think it's less about not knowing,
Pastry Puff.
but like also making it so that both endgames would be good outcomes. Because I've seen so many where it's like, this guy is obviously the bad choice.
But that's also a good
and
one.
This guy is so obviously going to win.
Pastry Puff makes a really good example as well. Dandadan has Gigi, who is a good character. Even though we know that the end game is not Momo Gigi, we know it's Momo and Okarun, right? Gigi is still a full character. He's still a like has his own shit going on, his full personality. He's still a good guy, right? He's still just a good dude. And the reason he exists in the love triangle is not to try and circumvent us on who's gonna end up with Momo, but to show Okarun's growth as a person, right? Because his whole thing with Gigi is being jealous of him. And Gigi's existence helps Okarun realize his feelings for Momo and how he feels about all this stuff.
And it also inspires him to want to change his flaws.
Yes,
and
I'm
work
ready
on
for
them.
season 2,
He wants
Allie.
to be more confident in himself. He wants to be able to protect Momo and become stronger.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to be useful in this little dynamic duo that they've set up.
That too, juxtapose, I think the thing that you really have to like lean into, I think, if the goal is specifically to make it unknown, I don't think that a good love triangle has to have you not know who the end game is, like I'm talking about with Gigi here, but you have to know what the goal is of the love triangle, right? If the love triangle goal is to have the two characters that will get together grow because of the interference of the third, that's a goal that is different from, oh, will they, won't they, will they, won't they, will they, won't they, will they, won't they, you know, and that's a very different issue. Yeah, exactly, Pastry Puff. The reasoning of the love triangle is not who's she gonna choose, it's how do we overcome this, right? And getting through
that's
emotional
also more
journey.
interesting for the audience to experience as well.
Where if you want to do a love triangle where it is who she's gonna choose, you have to, or who's he gonna choose, or whoever's gonna choose, you have to make both options equally viable and just like full people. And like, you know, you really have to go into it with you, the writer, being like okay with either option. Like, I feel like the really way to do it is to just go at it and see what happens, right? You have to equally like both of them and see how it ends. Miraculous. Oh god.
Miraculous Ladybug. Oh, back to the trenches.
I have recently been seeing like Miraculous at its like
It's
OT3
been making a resurgence.
It's well because it got a whole update sort of thing. But I've been seeing OT3 of Luca and Adrian and Marinette, and that's interesting. Because that's more
wild.
like what they, well, because they had this whole thing with Luca, and it was like Luca's better for Marinette, and it's like, but you're right though, and it's like a whole thing, and so they're just like, but we don't want to give up the Chanois Marinette because honestly, Maricat is the best one. That works too. That works too. Juxtapose. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they will.
I feel like that's what you're describing, Juxtapose, is what happened in Avatar: The Last Airbender. To a degree. Aang was smitten in the beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like Endgame was a bit on the nose, but then it started to change a bit in the middle.
I will
You
say,
had the whole Zutara Wars.
I don't know if when I was watching it, if I felt that it was necessarily like super obvious, because for a long time it definitely felt like Aang was just smitten, you know? Like,
it was definitely upon like rewatch that I noticed it a bit more. I was like, oh, they tried to set this up in season 1. But like I don't know. It's interesting from a Western audience perspective because we do have that expectation of, oh, boy, girl, end game.
It just hurts me in my soul deeply.
That's just
and
what
utterly
people think. Media has really conditioned us.
And that's why Kylo Ren and Rey kill me.
That one hurt.
It hurts so much. I had to do everything to not scream in a movie theater, guys. I had to really, really try. It was really tough. I was so upset. I like clawed Dylan. I was like, ah! Because they fucking fake you out with the hug, too. They fucking fake you out that they're gonna be just normal and like brothers. And then they fucking kiss, and I wish
because
for
Penguin,
death.
if we have to suffer, then so do you.
Yeah, I have to, because it's one of the like... It's one of the ones that's like, this is a horrific example I saw in real time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that was like a defining of like, wow, I really don't think these two characters should be together, and then they were. And then on top of it, like I said, they faked you out.
Times.
I was at home when you did scream. We watched it like opening week. Bad decision. I was like gripping Dylan's like hand as they're like, you know, it's like coming together. And I'm like, no, don't do it. And then they hug. I'm like, oh, beautiful relief. My day is saved.
Like, okay,
my crops are watered. And then minutes later they kiss, and I could have walked out. I could have walked out.
Like, fuck you, how dare.
Oh no! Juxtapose! No! No!
I hope that's not why they did it.
That's definitely not why, but no, just
we did not need that kind of callback.
I didn't need that comparison.
Oh,
it was
so
Penguins.
bad.
It was watching Train Smash. Oh yeah, Strock, that gets cut out everywhere but the US.
I feel like Raylo was the most like pairing for the sake of pairing. You know?
100%. They had no one else. They had Finn and Rose? Question mark? You know, they had no one else. And it had to have romance in it. That's the other thing. That's what I hate.
Sad time.
I hate that a lot. I don't mind the B-plot romance happening, okay? It can be done well. But you have to go in with the intention that that will happen to make it good. And not go, my action story has to fucking have romance in it, you know?
It really
Oh, there's
don't.
Finn X Ray. Oh, that's true. That's true. Finn X Ray was at the beginning. I remember. I was here for Finn and Dameron.
Yeah, I forgot about
that
that
was
one.
what I was there for. That one. I had a couple moments. Yeah, Finn and Rose question mark. Very, very true. It was very rough. It was very like, we're writing these like sequels, and then we needed to have romance in it because the first one did, because the first trilogy did. It was like a
pain.
So Kylo was a male Bond girl then. I mean, kind. He was kind of flat. Not gonna lie. They were all kind of flat. Too funny. No, it's definitely not her fault. And she totally did what she could with what she had. There's no questions. I never felt like the acting was like a bad, an issue. It was definitely just...
We solely blame the writers.
The writing was unfortunate. And like I've said before, there were some really cool cinematic moments. And I will forever be sad that, again, one of my like top 2 cinematic moments of live action that like sit in my head, one of them is unfortunately from Rise of Skywalker, because it's fucking cool. But it doesn't help anything. Bond boy. It doesn't help. Anybody grow up and Skyfall came out and you had that moment with Bond and Silver and you're just a Tumblr girl and it's just like, what? Wait, hold on.
Oh my god. You're just processing what's happening. You're just
like, wait, hold on. I'm watching this with my parents? Wait, and what? What is that? Oh god.
Just like, huh?
And then being hella ace, so only kind of getting it, and then the second time being like, oh wow, this was worse than this was like more than I expected, than I remembered. Yes, exactly, Penguin. I love the lightsaber handoff. Epic. Fuck everything else. Fuck everything else. Yes, all the writers we blame.
Nice things. This is just why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, no, juxtapose, I definitely get what you're saying, and that definitely does, like, that definitely is a problem, I think, in the whole space, both ways, because that's been a problem even before, like, gay representation was a big thing, was the, like very early, the jokes were like, you can't touch the homies, that's gay, right? So while we've gone the other direction to an extent, there is definitely still a disparity, there is still like a can't they just be friends? And that's why we'll take all the queer platonic relationships we can get.
I level this argument. Can characters just exist? Be it straight or gay? Can characters just exist?
Can characters just exist?
One day we will reach that level of nuance.
Yeah, my big thing is, can mainstream, like, stuff happen that just doesn't have any romantic anything in it? Is that a possibility we can get? I understand
would be nice.
That as an ace person, it's definitely a much bigger deal for like coming of age stories for people than my personal lived experience. But like, can we just chill? I love Adventure Time, but Finn, there's a lot of romance in that. Gravity Falls is great.
The shipping drama around Finn the human was wild.
But there's still a part of Dipper's whole deal with the crush on Wendy and Mabel being boy crazy. Like, it's still very prevalent, and I very much understand that my personal lived experience as an ace person is very different.
How many times have I said wild tonight?
Yeah, it's very different than normal allo people's coming of ages. But like, come on, it does not have to be the focus every time, please. Please
and thank you. Keep giving us Lumides, though. That was great.
You don't mind what you get as long as writing justifies it? Very true. Very true. Regulations say no. Yeah.
You're putting Brokeback Mountain on the list? Oh, man. Let me know how that one is, Deathstroke.
Yes. No, 100% Penguin. Definitely. And that's why I think, like, all of the, like, shipping culture is perfectly fine as long as people can totally be accepting of what the source material ends up with, as long as writing makes sense to getting there. And that's all that matters.
We've got a long way to go.
This is the goal I wish for the world. I can hope.
I point you to the Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia fandom. Because that was the most chaotic shipping I'd ever seen in my life. Eren Yeager got shipped with friggin' everybody.
Yeah, but you know, that's fine. Everybody can ship whoever they want with whoever they want within, you know, obviously like legal reasons. And
wait,
but
this begs the question, how do you illegally ship something?
When two characters should not be in a romantic relationship in any sort of way because of things. Legal things.
Okay, we're thinking of that.
Yeah. That's how you can illegally ship someone. Yes, juxtapose. I was trying to get Mars to get it. Mars's
you
gears
can tell
are
the
turning.
11:10 brain is kicking in.
Yeah, the midnight brain, as we should be ending. I just wanted to finish his foot. But, the Cronenberg crash before the other crash? Oh my goodness. That's very funny. I think I haven't heard anyone say that it like really shows its age, Brokeback Mountain. So I'm not sure. Yeah, that too, Penguin. That definitely that definitely adds to it. The more characters there are.
When characters aren't well developed, it definitely creates an opportunity for self-insert. If there was one of these arguments I heard where it's like some people don't want to do direct self-inserts, like they don't want to use the your name tag, they don't want to write from that perspective, so they don't. Instead, what they do is they pick a character with the least personality to insert their own personality onto, and then that becomes the insert character. What video was I watching where they gave that example?
Self-inserts are also wild to me, as like, again, most likely as an ace person. I'm just like, I want to, you know, you guys have the thing over there.
Because I remember in the video essay, the person said like, this is the ship you pick when you want to do a self-insert but are too chicken to do so.
When you don't want everybody to know you did a self-insert off the tin.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. Me very much is just like, nah. The circus, you know, monkey peanut thing, right? It's over there. I don't want to be a part of it. I want to experience the drama.
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
No. It was the thing. It's like they're a loving circus animal that I lovingly throw peanuts at.
Could agree on was John and Marco was GOAT. John and Marco was a good ship.
And Jux was there in the background. You like write yourself into every like public space, you know, it's just like a background character. That'd be pretty funny. You're like a Stan Lee cameo, hilarious. You know, in just everything.
No, that'd imagine if it was written in the way of Tress of the Emerald Sea, where you're like the observer commenting on everything happening.
That's great. Guys, read Tress of the Emerald Sea. Okay, just do it. Don't ask questions.
It's so good.
Just do it. Make your dreams come true.
One of my favorite books of all time.
Fantastic book. I gavoned that book, man. Mars was like, here, Ori, you'll like this. And I'm like, cool. And then I like didn't read it for a while. And then I like started it and I was like, I am finishing this now. I finished that shit so fast.
Well, I can't make the appropriate comparison, Estra, because I've sadly never read that one. But basically what Tress of the Emerald Sea does is it uses a outsider POV in the third person to describe everything that's going on. So it's almost like you're reading someone's journal as they're commenting on everything happening. But it's told in such a unique way that the personality just oozes through the pages. Like the narrator is sarcastic, they poke fun,
it's great.
They comment on
like
things
it really
like
uses
they care about that might not be too relevant, but then they're like, oh, back to the story at hand.
It very much feels like you're...
And it's great. It never breaks immersion.
Yeah.
That was something that I was impressed by. Those little detours never break immersion because
it's definitely not like
within the world.
Like I don't feel like it's as, I wouldn't call it breaking the fourth wall. It's definitely like you are listening to somebody tell you a story, right? Yeah. That's what it feels
really helps
like.
That fairy tale
it's done
quality.
Really well. It really gives, like I said again earlier, Princess Bride.
It does.
There's a lot.
It really does.
But if like without
would
the
not be
kid like
surprised if
asking
Princess Bride was
questions,
an
the
inspiration.
grandfather just goes on like tangents of like, oh yes, and then Buttercup went to, you know, the inn. I remember when I went to my first inn, you know, things like that. Like that's how it feels, and it's done really, really
Grandpa,
well.
don't be telling your grandson about the inns.
But yeah, Princess Bride is great. Tress of the Emerald Sea, fantastic.
Very good read.
Really
you
good
will not
read.
be able to put it down.
No,
it was
fantastic.
so good.
So good. Alrighty.
Also, guys, if you need me to sell it anymore, in the book, there are pirates. There's lots of seafaring.
It's all pirates.
And the sea is not made of water. It's made of glowing mushroom spores that all have different types of powers.
It's really cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah, Jux was there. Yeah, I remember the first time at the end. I met Jux there.
Also, Jux was there.
Yeah. You know, they show up a lot, but, you know, good to see a friendly face. Oh, where was I? Ah, yes, Buttercup.
Ah, yes, continuing on.
Yeah, that's the vibe, and it's a very good vibe. It's done very, very well. Effect spore, but as the sea, it's really okay.
It's
Mars,
so good. That is mostly the reason I gave Ori that book. No, I'm not, because I'm just going to say the reason I gave Ori that book was mostly for the fungal sea.
The world building is very well done. The way it's told to you, the way you learn about it, how it works,
and in such a short amount of time too. Really good. Like, it's not a long book.
No, it's just one. It's not a series. And the author is a very famous author that I'm blanking on the name of. He's known for his series.
Brandon Sanderson, I believe.
Yes, Sanderson. He's known very much for his series. I will be surprised if none of you here have heard of that name. But it's a one-off book. It's a one-off. Worth it. If you're trying to get into his stuff, definitely do it. But
it's a very good introduction.
It's just a good one-off. Yeah, Cosmere. That's what I'm thinking about.
I still need to read his other books, but I will admit the length of his other books scare me.
Yeah, I don't think I can commit to that, if I'm being honest. I also don't think they're
definitely read Tress of the Emerald Sea alongside The Bad Thing.
I also don't think they're as like Ori coded as Tress of the Emerald Sea is, but yeah, really, really good. And like I said, the author
Tress was incredibly Ori coded.
It's very Ori coded.
Because it had the fungus, it had the mushrooms, and it had the pirates.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I read it, I was like, oh, Ori's gonna like this.
But thank you all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed. Yes. I definitely got something done in the comic. Not a lot, but something.
What a lovely evening we all had.
Thank you to our lovely YouTube channel members. If you are on YouTube still, please give the stream a like. That really helps us out. Go watch our shorts and like those and comment on those. That also helps us out a lot. Tangled Tower video came out today, episode. You should totally watch that. Just in the background, you know, put it on. Listen to Cinder and Mars and I have difficulty and realizations. But yes, and talk about dipping brief. It's certainly a time. But yeah. Thank you for coming.
It was.
Have a lovely hump day. Yep, because Penguin's having hump day right now, and everybody else will have hump day tomorrow. So have a lovely hump day, and we'll see you all on Thursday. Good night.